Hello, everyone. Welcome back for more water. It was a pretty interesting episode last week with some new things revealed, and I'm really interested to see how everybody deals with that today. Before we dive into all the action and everything, though, I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves. We'll start. We start with top left, so let's go with Alex. Tell us a little bit about Susie and yourself.
Hello, I'm Alex. I'm a digital artist. I can be found around on Can Chaos Art on Twitter and Twitch. I play Susie, who is 15 years old, buffer than you will ever be in your entire life, and traumatized. Also, she has a knife, and now she has a kindergarten teacher who she has decided is like her best friend now, and is learning how to speak with aliens. So
Yes.
she's getting some life experiences, all right.
That's for sure. Um, and next we've got Zan. Tell us a little bit about TC and yourself.
Yeah, so I'm TC is a what some might call a terrorist, but he prefers to be called a environmental conservationalist. You know, sometimes you got to do a little bit of damage today to keep the fuckheads from ruining everything for everybody. But is generally a nice guy with a bit of a pragmatic, if kind of fixed way of looking at things. And I'm Zan, a professional DM and content creator for 5e, World of Darkness, Powered by the Apocalypse, and a whole bunch of other super great systems. And we can finally add streamer to that list as well, as my channel is finally up and on the way. I didn't save the first stream that I did, unfortunately, so it's lost to history. And two of the cast here might will tell you that I beat the entire game of Final Fantasy IX in one sitting. It was wonderful. It was a great time. Everything's done with that game now. Yeah, and if y'all hang around throughout the break, after the break, at the when we're closing up tonight, I will have a huge announcement to drop that is very exciting. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome. Very exciting. Next we've got Pat. Tell us a little bit about Owen and yourself.
Hey, I'm Pat. I'm a Tetric on Twitter and Twitch and places online. I also have a channel where I stream games, and that definitely happens on a regular basis and not once in a blue moon. And I'll also plug a game later. We'll plug that later. But we've got an exciting game starting this Sunday.
Awesome.
And I'm playing Owen. He was a cook at one point, and then a bunch of shit happened, and now he doesn't really know what's going on. Really spearheaded that trip to the alien complex last week and thought that'd be a lot more useful instead of just bringing back like the world's most depressing robot.
Hey, we also got some grit out of that trip. Some really useful grit.
We did. I guess we did find the machine to potentially remove his nanobots at some point. That's a thing.
And
Or
also
give everybody nanobots.
Or that. Also, it's the sad robot that knows the entire planet's history.
Yeah, but like, do we care?
He's just such a Marvin.
So Owen just does not feel strongly about this robot.
Glitch wanted attention there.
That's all I got.
All right. Sorry, I was getting my cat off the desk because she's like, I'm just going to hop and be right in here in front of the camera. Next, we've got Echidorlax. Tell us a little bit about Allison and yourself.
Hello, I'm Echidorlax, and I play TTRPGs with whoever of the wonderful people of Twitch will have me, and between games, if my executive dysfunction and social anxiety let me, I tinker a little with various things on the interwebs and stream some chill survival or crafting games on my own channel, so I can at least talk at people, if not with people. And my character is Allison. She most certainly doesn't have any problem with talking. She's a Bosco certified childcare specialist and very much a people person. So she moonlights now as a counselor for this Camp Mayhem summer retreat we live on. Oh, and she still hasn't met any of the really scary inhabitants of this planet, and she thinks that this scary alien lampreys that got stuck to her are like 6 or 7 on a 10-point scale. Poor baby.
Yeah. It really is. It really is wild how little you all have been in the ocean this season. It's been interesting, like in a good way. Yeah, awesome. And then last but not least, Jay, tell us a little bit about Tamsin and yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm playing Tamsin tonight, who is a mid-60s astrophysicist who is just not. She shouldn't be here. She really shouldn't be here. She should be behind a desk somewhere or a telescope. So she is rapidly becoming the, I guess, the authority on science-related matters, at least in some ways, and is not super keen on any of it. She's slowly learning to work with a group over the last 2 seasons, and we'll see how far she gets before she inevitably dies. As for me, I am Jay, or Alien Jays. You can find me on Twitter or itch.io at those names. And I've mentioned this last week, but I'll mention it again because it's getting close. First week of April, expect a tweet out for playtests for Afterburner, which is the system I developed, which is kind of Speed Racer mixed with F-Zero mixed with Mario Kart. So the first round of playtests went really well, and the second I'm hoping is less... I'm hoping it's less throwing the baby out with the bathwater and more just cleaning the baby up. So
It's super fun. I thoroughly enjoyed the first playtest I got to do. And that just leaves me. I'm Raven. I'm the creative director for the Raven Evermore, which is the brand for all the various things that I do. You can check out my website and various other links and things at my link tree, which is in chat. If you are watching not on Twitch later, then it is linktr.ee/theraven, just like it says underneath my face here. And then before we jump into the thick of things, quick mention of sponsors, which is Fundamental RPG, which is the system that this game runs on, plus a little extra built on top of that specifically for the setting. And then Intrepid, which is adventuring gear for real life. You can find the PDF copy of Fundamental and all the Intrepid stuff over at coffee.com/raven/shop, or you can pick up your physical copy of Fundamental RPG over at Amazon. Just search for Fundamental RPG or Raven Evermore, and it'll pop right up. And then also, if you would like to catch up on this show or others on the channel or some of the past shows that we've had, we are officially up on the Fantasy Network now. Actually, we should be on the home screen of the Fantasy Network right this second, as of this stream. But you can check out, if you go to, I think it's Stream Library, is what it is in the menu on the top left of their website. Just look for Black Feather Guild and you can see all the content that we have up there ready to go. So very cool stuff. All the introductions and things out of the way. We ended, I think, pretty much in the evening last week. Everybody was kind of getting settled down for sleep after a pretty busy day. So unless there's something specific that you want to do at night, we can fast forward to the next morning. And what do you want to do then?
Okay, there's something important Alison wanted to do. And night is as good time as any. She can miss on sleep a bit. She wanted to watch all the Susie pictures, all the pictures Susie took.
Okay.
So the question is if Susie would just let me copy them on my tablet.
Oh, Susie's been sending them all to the group chat.
Yeah, but this is all new. So it is like group chat.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah.
Okay,
Susie gives you everything that she's collected on the planet so far.
Okay. So that's all. That's really a job for half a night.
This? Somebody wants to read my research? Yes.
I just
time to upload 7 years.
Alison just wants to know what can kill her.
That's fair.
Preferably
Right.
before tomorrow. That's always better sooner than later. That's
if
why
you're-
she sacrifices the night.
If you're letting people know that you're doing that, TC would very much be interested in looking at those too if you wanted company. If you did mention it, then he probably wouldn't inquire.
Probably not.
Okay, cool.
So if I remember right, that's going to have pictures of pretty much every creature that you've encountered thus far.
And a lot of different things too. Locations, items,
Yeah.
I guess.
Did Susie ever get pictures of the Kraken Viper? Was that something that she was able
Yep.
to?
Yup.
Okay,
Both
so yeah.
of them, including what the inside of one looks like,
Oh, that's right.
as well
So,
as like
yeah.
as well as like the instructions of what her and Boris did to electrify the hull.
Perfect. So yeah, Allison, you've now experienced Kraken Vipers, albeit in picture form, which is really the best way to experience Kraken Vipers.
I'll be mopping on my bunk.
She even has
Okay.
pictures of the chorus fish.
Oh, I
Carp
forgot
Chanter
about
carp.
those.
The carps.
I forgot all about those.
We didn't.
Yeah, she's got pictures of them both when they're acting, like doing the carpy, the thing, and when they're not.
Okay, perfect. All right. So Allison has done a little bit of that. What's everybody else doing?
I mean, I think Tamsin's probably just bedding down. Like she was probably picking Luna's brain most of the day anyway for engineering stuff. So
Okay. Yeah, I think everybody else is like just sleeping, but like the next morning, what would Tamsin do?
sorry. Next morning she would probably be bugging Luna as soon as she's awake, maybe a little earlier, about the fridge for all the cryopods, because she's still dead set on that. Even though the philosopher's here, that's great. It's great to have you on board. There's still hundreds of people stuck in cryo freeze, and she would rather have them not accessible to Wilfred.
Okay.
Yeah. We can get to that after if everyone wants to do stuff, but
Sure. Sorry, I'm trying to get the Roll20 is having issues with the music. It's causing it to like stop halfway through the playlist. There we go. Keep having to return it on. Yeah, is there any like specific question about that that Tamsin would have, or is it more just a general conversation?
just a general like catch up, I guess, because if I'm remembering right, we had talked about potentially moving the island to the fridge, since we couldn't really move the fridge with what we have.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
So I guess, yeah, just like a checkup of like, hey, where are we on this? Because I know we had some other stuff we talked about, but this is kind of priority for Tamsin at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, Luna will have some things to say about that. What about Owen and TC and Susie?
Susie's plan is to she is working on figuring out how to make, so you know how like like those party favors that do the and has the tongue, like the thing shoot out.
Yeah.
She's basically going to be working on with fibers and stuff to make herself something like that can be manipulated via air pressure inside of it to do the different movements sort of thing to imitate.
Okay.
And while she's doing this, she's going to be doing this down in the cave. She's going to be like getting the philosopher to tell her more of the language.
Okay. Let's do. Trying to decide if this falls under like art creating or like engineering creating. I'm gonna go with engineering. So
Do I actually have dots in that?
Yeah, I thought
and
so.
I'm adding crafting with grass.
Yeah, that's perfect. That would definitely apply.
So 21 plus 4, so 25.
25?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it kind of works.
It's a prototype.
Yeah. It like you probably have to like stop and fix it after every you know, short conversation, but it is like a crude version of what you're going for, yeah.
A start is a start.
Yeah.
Susie is like excitedly sending pictures of it to the group chat, and
Nice.
like explaining is like what it still needs like adjustments for.
Okay. Yeah, and the philosopher actually is somewhat impressed by that, and starts teaching you words that are a little more like tongue movement heavy, so that you can kind of practice with it and try it out some.
Yeah,
right,
that's
and-
what like Susie like dedicates the fuck of herself into. It's like this is her new. Well, I don't have any macro guard to tame. I'm gonna learn to speak an alien language.
The new hyperfixation.
Boy, howdy am I realizing that Susie has major hyperfixation issues.
Yep.
I think you were the last one to realize this.
What about TC and Owen? What are you two up to?
I forget. Did we have a hard set in stone plan for today after the? Okay, fantastic, great. Someone has brought fucking violence to this island, and that is the last catalyst that TC needed. TC is going off to find things to go boom. We have played nice and assumed that there would be no conflict on this island for far too long, and now it's time to be the best armed species on the planet. So we're going out to try to find some phosphorus and some stuff if we can.
Okay. Good question. Let me look at what's in your biome. Islands.
No, the violence was them beating and attacking the philosopher. So, and then the philosopher wounded or damaged Wilfred. So we have we were not the ones to choose escalation, but we will win.
Philosopher doesn't even go here.
Yeah.
Owen, are you already missing Susie bothering you all day?
So I'll say this, since Owen has the nanobot thing that he's been able to figure out. I'll just read off the loot table essentially for this zone.
Okay.
So things that are possible to find on the island:
Alright.
copper, gas pods, lead, titanium or metal salvage that you can convert to titanium, quartz, salt deposits, fruit, diamonds, lithium. There's a small chance at uranite crystals, which you can refine into uranium, so you could make a nuclear bomb potentially.
It seems a little overkill.
Brain coral samples, table coral samples, caustic shrooms, root vegetables, the fruit trees that you've already found, and edible mushrooms.
Lovely. I think today's shopping list is going to comprise maybe a little bit of copper, a few caustic shrooms, and maybe a gas pot or two, and some lithium.
Okay.
I think lithium. Right? No, I did that last week too. I forgot that lithium isn't one of the metals that explodes when it hits water. It's in the water. Well, damn.
Lithium doesn't explode in water? I thought it still did.
Not
Is it one of the
Lithium dust.
alkalis?
I was going to say this specific type of lithium doesn't.
Yeah, there's different types.
Space
you're
lithium.
You're
Got it.
thinking of well, no, it's not even space lithium. There is actual lithium in the ocean, not in sea spray. That's why you get sent to the coast when you have depression.
I think it's when it's a specific compound, like when it's a specific makeup of lithium.
Oh, the things that I was thinking of was the pure elements like potassium and
Yeah.
like on the furthest left hand
And
side
sodium,
of the table.
yeah.
That was
And
100% what I was
lithium
thinking of.
in that category does explode. It's just the least explosive.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is a solid metal.
Okay then. Then let's see. I guess we're gonna have to get high tech rather than low tech, so that's gonna be difficult. So I'm gonna try to look for some. Because radiation generally isn't the answer. I'm just gonna look for like caustic shrooms, diamonds, and copper.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to spend like half of the day looking for that, like how much are you wanting to get of each one of those?
I would. Let's see. I would say if we're doing like a 4-hour day, 2 hours spent on copper, and then an hour on caustic shrooms, and an hour on diamonds.
Okay.
Because copper, it's got a little bit of uses both ways.
Yeah, we'll call that copper's relatively common here, so for an hour we'll say you find 5. You find 1 diamond after an hour. The caustic shrooms are plentiful, so just however many you want, that you could potentially carry on your person.
Give me just 1 second. I'm trying to update our group inventory as we go.
I can do it as we go if you want.
Oh, what?
I said I can do it if you just want to list them off.
Oh, sure thing. Hell yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Jay.
That was 1 diamond. How much copper, Raven?
5 or 10?
5.
5. Okay. And then what was the rest?
So 1 diamond, 5 copper, as many caustic shrooms as you would like. And then what was the other thing that you were looking for?
I think it was just those 3. I think I decided against going for any gas pods just yet.
Okay.
How does 10 caustic shrooms sound?
I think it sounds like a good mushroom.
Okay.
Okay.
If that's 3 hours though, then I'll do an extra hour on the diamonds.
Okay. Oh yeah, I think that was the other thing that you mentioned. Yeah, you find 1 diamond.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, great. So we're and I'm gonna make Owen upset about this. I'm gonna go to one of the houses that we haven't been occupying. And I'm going to take a pot, and I'm gonna empty what I've been storing the last couple of nights in it. We're gonna finally empty that bedpan out in there, and I'm just gonna boil it over a low temperature for a while. I need some phosphorus, damn it. I need something that's gonna burn. I can't seem to find any fucking phosphorus anywhere else, so looks like we're boiling pee.
To this planet.
Yep, looks like we're boiling pee. It's not the life I chose. It's not the life I wanted to live, but it's the life I'm living. So I'm just gonna boil some pee.
Question: do you leave the windows shut or do you open them?
I picked an empty house that's away from the rest of the stuff. I'm going to close the windows.
Okay. The smell in the house is horrendous.
I bet
It's gonna need to be aired out for like a month before that smell leaves that building.
Oh, Hundo P, I am definitely just turning it on and staying till it starts to simmer, and then I am walking the fuck away.
A Hundo P, really?
Oh,
Okay.
I did say that, didn't I? That wasn't even intentional. Damn, it was too good.
Yeah. you're able to do that, and I know nothing about how that works, so I will just trust you that that is how that works, and you are able to get whatever would be a realistic amount from that at some point.
Yeah. I'll do the math on that. I'll figure out how, we'll weigh the liquid intake versus the prostate problems versus the sodium intake, and we'll figure something out.
Jay. Our Zoom chat, don't worry about it.
Damn it, Jay. Yeah, that's 100% the understanding that I have on from the Googles.
Okay. So Susie's making a prosthetic tongue and learning a language. TC's boiling pee. Allison is
I found
catching
diamonds
up.
too, damn it.
Was it painful? Did you see a doctor about that?
It was a stone.
It's one hell of a kidney stone. Anyways, Allison's catching up on group chat and learning scary things about what's here. Tamsin's discussing plans with Luna. What's Owen doing?
Fuck me if I know. God. I think Owen is really irritated that all of the fucking the whole reason he wanted to go to the facility was to get a look at the aliens' information and figure out more of that shit, which was all gone, and instead we got someone who seems to know a whole lot about shit I don't care about and not what I do. So I think Owen is sitting around trying to figure out where he could go to, where else I might be able to go to, like, not hack into the alien systems exactly, but like where the fuck anything else might be. I'm trying to remember where we've seen their computers and technology stuff. Like, I know at the volcano there was a terminal on the other island, but I can't remember if we've seen anywhere else.
You just have the location of like the power plant that controls the gravity well, but it's really, really, really deep under the water.
Oh, that's where we were supposed to go, right? We never made it there.
Yes, right, because
Okay.
Wilfred was like, "Hey, let's blow up the sub."
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, so I mean, Owen can't make an ill-advised trip there on his own because he's never been there.
Nope, nobody. None of the survivors have been there.
No.
Although perhaps someone else has, but.
Yes, honestly, I think he's debating his options of bad ideas between trying to push his, I guess you would call them like body hitchhikers, like the little nanites, push those into trying to communicate with the aliens again, like request a software update or like information or some shit like that. So that bad idea, or considering teleporting back to the volcano and try and get shit there on the island that is hostilely occupied.
Of those two horrible ideas, I will tell you that one is less horrible than the other. But I won't tell you which one's less horrible.
Oh.
You can roll gut feeling to see if you might have an inkling.
I mean, I think he knows. I think he knows deep down.
24.
That's about as good as his gut feelings could get.
You're not
19,
sure.
yeah.
You're not sure.
You're not sure why this comes to mind, but suddenly you have just like this random memory of some movie that you saw, before the crash, how they were like, the cops were talking to the kidnapper on the phone, and they were trying to like trace the call, and you're like, somehow that seems relevant, but I'm not quite sure how.
Okay, I got that. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah. So teleporting to the hostile island is the less shitty idea.
Yep.
Oh. Oh, fuck.
Because, the Rylands that are on the island.
Yep, they don't know where we're at.
Yep. Through great pains of...
Yep, that was...
the Rylands that are on your side of things.
That was literally the whole reason for the discussion yesterday with the fucking philosopher. Yep. Ah, shit. How I'm just like, is Lyle still by the teleporter?
Yep. Lyle and Quackers are still on guard duty. Nobody's come to the teleporter.
Mm-hmm. Lyle, how you feel like stretching your legs?
Yeah, I mean, it's been, Philosopher and me just hanging out here in the teleporter cave. It's been fun conversation and do Quackers, but
Is the Philosopher down here?
Yeah, the Philosopher won't leave the teleport cave.
I think Owen looks over and then like is startled, like he just didn't notice the Philosopher was in the room.
They just sort of like nod at you.
Yeah, you want to it's with the whole don't go alone thing. Do you want to come on a trip with me?
Yeah, sure, I could come on.
With no follow-up questions.
Exercise. Sure, that where well, I just have the one question. Where are we going?
That yeah, there's no good reason. There's no good way for me to. No, yeah, I want to go back to that volcano on the other island. Hack into their computers.
Isn't that where all the crazy cult people are and the other robots now? The Philosopher just nods.
Well, I mean,
before everyone answers.
The island is where they're at. We don't know that specific shack on the island is where they're at.
I mean, I think that's
he says, and then looks at the Philosopher.
Idea, but we can always hit the back button, right? And then we can just hop right out of there.
Yeah, that works 99% of the time.
That's pretty good odds. Sure, you know what? Sure, let's do that. But I'm gonna leave Quackers here with the our new robot friend, since they can do guard duty now, and it might be dangerous, and I don't want anything to happen to Quackers. So
now for Lyle's sake, Raven, do I have to roll anything to convince him about this?
No, I don't think so. Lyle's been cooped up in the teleport cave for like a week straight, just about.
Oh, and you're gonna get him killed.
The only time Lyle's left was to help
I know
Tamsin,
that.
and they almost died. So yeah, Lyle's anxious to stretch his legs. So Quackers just puts Quackers on.
Shit. You know what? You've done such a good job of cave duty. I don't know if we should tear you off of that though. What if I just took what's their face over there? They still count as a buddy, right?
I'm pretty sure they don't want to. Like they made it clear they're not planning on leaving. Lyle just sort of puts his arm around your shoulder and sort of like guides you away from the Philosopher. Just in a very hushed tone, goes, "Don't leave me down here. He doesn't stop talking, and he's very depressing."
No,
and, he seems like a nice robot and everything, but it's I'm getting real depressed down here.
No, see, I was gonna take him with because this might be dangerous, and like if something happened to you, I would care, but if something happened to him, I don't.
This is the wrong communication. I just want to put that out there. This is not the communication.
This is the best level of communication this group has ever had.
It is, and it bothers me immensely.
You're lucky Allison doesn't hear it. You say this because
oh goodness,
you would be put in the timeout and had all the stars removed from your account.
No gold stars for you. Oh goodness.
I mean, if you are insisting on
Owen,
leaving to stretch your legs, what if we?
lose Susie's language teacher, she will be very upset.
I mean, she's pretty much figured it out by now, right? You've got the basics. She's got what she needs.
She hasn't learned the swear words yet.
I mean, aren't you better off just being immersed in the culture anyway?
Really want us to be here that long?
No.
So does Owen actually ask the philosopher if he'll go?
Yep.
The philosopher just looks at you for a moment with...
I mean, you said you didn't really want to be on this island anyway, right? So, I mean, some time away is probably a good idea.
I don't feel worthy of stepping into the life of this island again. But also, they don't call me the philosopher for nothing. It doesn't take one to know that this is a bad plan. I have no wish to die today.
The audacity.
But I will not stop you if you wish to do so. And then starts going on, you know, this long story of like, I remember when my favorite nephew died, and just starts going into this really depressing story.
Yep, that sounds nice right about now. Oh, God. Oh. I really want to do this, but I feel like Owen is less cavalier with Lyle's life than he is his own. Oh, fuck it. Let's go.
Do it.
Yeah, let's go. I feel like if Leland was here, he would tell me to do it.
I think so too. Okay. Lyle pulls out his return button in one hand and scissors in the other.
All right, yeah, I will think really hard about that shack.
Okay.
And also, I have a return button.
Perfect.
And I'm as armed as I usually am with both of my guns.
Okay. Go ahead and roll discipline to concentrate real hard on that shack.
It was real nice knowing everybody. 20.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're pretty far away from that.
Are we though?
Yeah, you do have 5d6.
Yeah,
and yes. Out of radio range, even.
But I mean, like, not out of the range of imagination, which is what powers this machine. 24.
That's a little better. Evens or odds?
Oh, odds.
Odds. All right, odds is the better option. I rolled a 2. So instead of ending up inside the shack, you and Lyle end up landing like right on the edge of the volcano, looking down.
I forget, was this volcano active?
No.
No,
Okay.
it isn't. It's
I didn't
just
think
you're
so,
on you're on the top of basically the edge of the bowl, which is like
Yeah.
it has
Still
heat cracks, but
not good, but not lava filled. It's just
Yeah,
what I was
like,
clarifying.
Unless there's a major seismic event that causes it to erupt, you're fine. So you know, what are the odds
Don't
of-
like that we had that qualifier loaded up and ready to go already.
That's just how volcanoes work.
Yeah.
That's not anything suspicious.
It's not a
That's how
countdown clock
volcanoes
waiting
work.
on that one.
I mean, there is, but it could be, you know, centuries on that clock. It's okay. It's Yellowstone. Okay, it's Yellowstone. Maybe it goes tomorrow. Maybe it goes the next millennium. We don't know.
So as we land in this shitty position, how would you say that we are on our own on this level, or surrounded by cultists and robots?
I'm sorry, I'm not Bill Nye's.
Look, I don't ask for much, Raven. Not much.
That is asking a lot.
All right, you know what?
Please consider the following.
All right, getting back to where you are, first of all, I was too busy explaining the volcano to ask you. I need a nimbleness roll from you both, because you land like right on the edge of the top here.
Oh no, Lyle has to make rolls.
Yep, Lyle's okay. Oh, and you're totally fine.
I'm pretty
Lyle's
nimble.
doing Lyle's doing like the cartoon, waving the arms and everything, and leaning back. But you're just fine. But you both managed to catch your balance, and then now you can look around.
With like a sight roll, or just
Yes, with a sight roll. Sorry.
Oh God, I'm not rolling great. 22.
Okay. So between the two of you, you look around, and fortunately, there is a big sort of boulder between you and the shed. You and Lyle are able to kind of hide behind. You can move away from the edge and go hide behind it, and you can use that for cover. And you see that there is one robot and one human guarding the shack.
Damn it.
But there's nobody else on top here, which is fortunate.
No one that we can see.
I mean, it's pretty open bowl of the volcano, so unless they have some sort of weird stealth technology that we've not talked about in the game before, you're fine.
Lyle, we're gonna get out of here pretty quick because I don't want to deal with that shit. But get a picture of the shack with the guards there, and I'm gonna try and look and see how many robots are on this island now.
Okay. So Lyle's gonna roll blend in to discreetly take that photo. And I need a blend in roll from Owen.
I don't know what any of Lyle's skills are. I barely
Not
know
blend
what
in, let me tell you.
Neither is mine.
There's blend in to kind of like sneak up to the edge of the mountain again and look down and survey.
I wasn't going to physically look. I was going to pull up my HUD and see how many robot blips are around me.
Oh, okay. That I see. Are you sure? Just double checking.
I mean,
holy shit,
damn,
Lyle! Spec Ops,
Where did he
assassin
go?
over here.
Where did Lyle go?
37 takes all the pictures.
I guess, would Owen have any reason to suspect that me using my robo connection here would then let them keep tracing me wherever I go? Because I've used it elsewhere and then gone back to the island and we've been fine.
Yeah.
I literally just used it at the complex yesterday.
Yeah. The movie comes to mind again, about being traced, and something about you being literally, a stone's throw away from the people trying to trace you might make it easier to trace you. Comes to mind. It might show up as someone has accessed the network from, they're in the house.
Oh shit! So
they're inside the house.
So my memory of this Bosco brand educational film now, am I thinking that essentially every time I log into this, at the facility that we went to, they're getting pinged about it and just not tracking me in time?
Probably, or just not caring that you're there.
Those are two very important differences.
It's one of those two theories. have to just play each track individually, because Roll20 is like, oh, you wanted music? No, sorry.
If Owen thinks that this would let them track him, then he wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
He
would be risky.
He was under the impression that wouldn't happen.
You start to think about the fact that like you can literally see one, a little ways away from you, and feel like it might be kind of risky.
Yeah, at least in my head, I imagined that they could probably see me when I was logged in, essentially the same as I can see them. I think I just assumed there was something on the island that prevented their vision from following me there, if that made sense.
I see. Yeah, gotcha.
Okay. But Owen just pouts, I guess. I don't think he knows what to do now.
All right.
This trip was a waste.
You could still look over the side of the mountain and like visually survey things.
Fine, I'll use my eyes like a chump.
All right.
Why do I even have nanobots?
Because the stranger was like, hey, would you like some candy? And you were like, stranger candy, yeah!
Always. Yes. Yep. Accurate.
That's basically what happened. Yeah, go ahead, roll sight. 28. That's pretty good. Yeah, you look around and you can see that development on this island has progressed somewhat since the last time you were here.
God.
There is a lot of tents just scattered all over the beach.
Mhm.
The cave that you all were staying in before now has like a door made out of that material that all the other alien stuff is made out of.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably like half a dozen other robots just sort of walking around in between the tents along the shore. There's a smattering of humans here and there doing various tasks. Some of them like praying to the robots. Yep. And then there's one familiar looking human with like a driftwood kind of style crutch.
Not on a funeral pyre right now.
No, very much alive. Just sort of walking with a limp and a nice long scar along their like across their thigh. It's Wilfred.
Gasp. How far away is this all from me exactly?
I mean, you're at the top of the mountain, so pretty far away.
Okay. I didn't bring a sniper rifle with me, unfortunately. Yeah, I guess I would pull out my tablet and try to take pictures of all of this.
Okay. You're able to do so.
I don't...
So what did you get? A 28?
Yeah. Do I see any like half-built rocket ships to take us all to freedom? Maybe.
No, you do not. But you do see, like inside some of the tents, you're just the right angle that you can see a little bit. Looks like there's like computer consoles and monitors and things set up. Like they're definitely setting up something. It's not a rocket, but they've got equipment that they brought up here, and they're doing something with it.
Love that. Yeah, I mean,
you definitely do not feel safe here.
No. Yeah, I think I'm looking over at Lyle, ready to jump home at this point. And then I never see Lyle again because of that blend-in roll.
Yeah, Lyle's like snuck up to the shed itself and has taken some close-ups of the robot and stuff, and peeked in the window and then crawled back with that 37 roll. But yeah, as soon as you're ready, Lyle, we'll go back with you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll I guess. Well, we'll try to go back. We'll hit our buttons and see if they work.
They do. You you immediately zap back, and the philosopher looks at you both and goes, "Oh, good, you survived."
Yeah, you sound real thrilled about that. Thank goodness. Thank goodness you're still here. That's what we were looking. That's what gave us the hope to keep going.
I'm sensing sarcasm.
Are you?
That is what I just said. Lyle takes Quackers off of his head and goes back to his seat.
Yeah. Just realized Lyle was willing to risk his life for like a 5-minute break from this fucking robot.
Yep. All right, so that takes up about half the day for everybody. Next half of the day, we actually let's go back to Tamsin. We didn't really have that conversation. So how does Tamsin start the conversation with Luna about figuring out the fridge?
I think she probably starts it with just kind of like listing everything that she knows right off the bat. Like, we can't move the island reliably. We can't move the fridge in almost any way. What other options could we have? Could we move them individually? Would that be feasible? Could we even detach them?
I was thinking about it, and you don't suppose there's a way that we could get enough material to make like a giant rudder for the island, do you?
I think Tamsin gives Luna a bit of a look of like, how big are we talking?
Oh, probably like the size of I don't know, a 2-3 story building.
Can Tamsin do a bit of math and see how much material that would require? Because
Sure.
it's not only just like material to make it, but enough that you could potentially move it.
You definitely know that you do not have anywhere near the materials or
That's
manpower
kind of
you
what
would
I
need for that to be
figured.
feasible.
Yeah, it's kind of what I figured. So we'll put a pin in that because we
Luna
don't
just
have
give-
enough people for
Oh,
material.
right.
I think if we
Remember when I
cannibalize the entire fridge,
Right. Remember when I said I was a theoretical engineer?
Remember when I said I was an astrophysicist?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, with that option out of the way, is there any way we could get the fridge to float? What do you think?
I mean, if we could get it to float, we'd first have to solve the problem of getting it off of the little reef that it's on and hoping that it wouldn't sink. Theoretically, given the size of it, it should be buoyant as long as there's still air inside. We just pump the water out and make sure there's no leaks, but we would still need something on the sides to keep it from tipping over. Although, well, no, if it gets flooded, it won't. The drag coefficient will be minimal. If we had pontoons, maybe inflatable pontoons on the side to keep it balanced, it should just float by sheer volume and displacement, but it may also be too heavy and sink.
Right. That's kind of what I was thinking. Some sort of like air bladders or something underneath of it to help lift it up, and then you get it to the surface and you can fix it. And well, it's a lot smaller than the island, so you could just hook up a engine or something like that to the end of it and just drive it on here.
Or we could have something like they would use in a bay, like a tugboat, to push it or pull it. Right? Less material to have to build. I think we need to figure out if it'll float first.
Right. I don't really remember much of the view that was there when I came out because it was
Flooding.
a bit of a fiasco. Yeah.
Yeah.
How big are the holes that are in it?
I actually don't remember if there were holes in it, Raven, because I know
Yeah,
it flooded from the
there's-
top.
It did. But there also was a hole towards the bottom, which is how the leeches were getting in.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, that's going to be a problem.
But most of the actual like tube itself, like the
Mhm.
like giant cylinder that's around these things, was fine.
Okay. I think Tamsin starts kind of piecing through her PDA, and then kind of does like we did find blueprints for a submersible kind of one-person mech, which if we armed it with some kind of welder, we could do that without fear of getting attacked by the leeches. Mind you, that would require building it, but...
Right. Those things are extremely useful. We could build a couple of those and get in there with the welders and construct some sort of inflatable, and
Mm-hmm.
that'd be just fine. Those things are
Well, I as far as I
Those things are
remember, they're
beasts.
made for deep space as well. Yeah. Okay, well and she'll piece through it, and this is me piecing through what we need to actually make it. Kind of make a shopping list.
yeah.
So we have the TUMS, which I don't remember what the acronym actually stood for.
I can't remember either.
Okay.
It's
Nobody
like
knows.
Yeah.
The underwater mech submersible or something like that.
That sounds right.
I think it was
So
a little
that's-
bit more technical than that, but that
Yeah.
works.
So that's going to need some stuff we haven't seen before. Aerogel, plasteel, lubricant. And to top all of that off, we'd have to jury rig some kind of repair tool to it or welder. It doesn't look as though we have any blueprints for that kind of thing.
They do have mechanical hands,
Mhm.
so it's
So you could
not.
theoretically okay.
Yeah, you could just basically use the welder.
Okay.
Um,
Now the question is,
I
do
think
we
you
have the
have-
recipes for aerogel and plasteel?
Aerogel is the Ooh, that one you might not have.
It doesn't look like we
both.
have it. Nor plasteel.
have-
Yeah.
I know
We have
it
lubricant,
goes
though.
I know it goes into plasteel, which you found those ingredients. So
Well, we can. I think if anything, now that we have the TUMS blueprint, I think if anything, Tamsin would just start looking around the island to see if any of those resources might be around.
okay.
And then if not, we'll maybe go to the reef. I doubt it though. No, without one of those suit stamps, it's not going.
So things that you will need for the plasteel, which as I recall, you've made pretty much everything that goes into it. So I will just
Okay.
give you that one.
Okay.
It's just titanium, a titanium ingot, and then a
Lithium?
lithium, I think is what it is.
That's what it looks like on here. Yeah.
Aerogel, however, you need
Mhm.
rubies and gel pods, neither
Yeah,
of which
Neither
are,
of which we've encountered.
they're not on the island either.
Mhm. Oh boy.
I think you need to go to.
Place we've never
Let's
been.
see. Let's see. You can, if you can find the albino kelp biome, you can find most of that there. Let's see. Which, yeah, you haven't come across that yet. You haven't gone deep enough. The deeps biome does have just about everything you'd need there as well.
Right.
Um,
So basically, what you're saying is we haven't done enough wandering about.
pretty much, yeah. The
Okay.
caves also, which is another one that's slightly less deep that
Mhm.
you could potentially get to.
but still dangerous to get to. And yeah, we don't. I think before we do any of those, we need oxygen tanks.
Yeah, at the least.
Yeah, so I think Tamsin will start making kind of a list of things that we'll need just to reach the things that we could, just understanding that Ruby needs a high pressure to even form. I think she would probably start just making a list of everything that we would need for diving, and then find a way. I don't know if we have a charger for the power cells for the little sub that we have.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. We have a battery charger, but not the power cell charger. No.
Yeah.
So I think, much to her chagrin, I think she would recruit Luna and maybe someone else, if they're free, to go back to the reef and start ranging out to find extra materials that we don't have right now.
Okay.
To make some of these interim things we need.
And I'll go ahead and tell you this too, since you've spent a fair amount of time in the shallows around the coral reefs, looking for materials. The materials that are there to be found are sulfur powder, copper, gas pods, leads, metal stuff, quartz, salt deposits, silver, brain coral, coral tube, caustic shrooms, and then yeah, that's it.
Okay, so if anything, she'd probably go there to get some extra quartz because we need glass for the O2 tanks. And then honestly, I don't know what else. Like, we could do it without the suits, and this is Tamsin talking to Luna. We could do it without the suits, but we would probably need all hands just to keep the leeches off of us while we did it.
Right.
Maybe something to distract them?
Well, if we pump all the water out, and get the metal sheeting in place, they're not that small. We should probably be able to keep most of them out, or at the very least, kill the ones that are there once all the water's out.
We wouldn't be able to pump until the leak was fixed.
Right. If I doubt the pump that we have would be able to keep up with
the ocean. Probably not. So maybe I'll run this by everyone and see who's free, see who's not busy doing whatever it is that they're up to. I know Susie's busy with the local alien population, so I doubt she'll be free. But maybe TC and maybe Owen or Lyle could be free. Yeah, I'll run it by them tonight at dinner. It's not as though we need to do it today, but I think we should go and get an idea of the size of it, maybe do some math. And Tamsin starts kind of rubbing her hands subconsciously when she mentions math. Do some math on the size of it and figure out if it could be buoyant, even with pontoons, and get some quartz so that we have some O2 tanks to be able to do this in the first place. I don't know why we didn't do it previously. Even when we were still just using the tub in the fridge, we only had 2 tanks, which wasn't adequate.
Right, with those being fairly easy to make, yeah, that's surprising.
Survival's a bit of a bitch.
Sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
It's fine. It's just that's exactly what season 1 and 2 were.
I had an important thing in my head, and my brain's like, we're gonna get rid of that and just throw in, and so is Tamsin.
I mean.
Oh God, where was I going?
I have no idea.
She puts the idea in your head to maybe ask Owen about how the stasis rifle works and if that could at all be helpful.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
In keeping
in defense. Okay. Yeah, I think she would do that. And I'm also going to make a list of ingredients that we need for the swim charge fins, because that'll help to just be able to swap out batteries, and maybe just a couple extra batteries.
Perfect.
So, cool.
All right. Well, while everybody's been doing that, for Allison catching up with the chat and the pictures and everything, is there anything else that you wanted to do on top of that, or?
Yeah, there's one thing I would to add to that sort of, because I think I misunderstood the initial question. I thought before I would start watching them just before going to sleep, and maybe.
I gotcha.
So I think just when I started scrolling through them, Alison started to notice how much useful info is there. So she actually works through them more on the morning, more methodically, tagging everything with one of two possibilities, or not tagging if it's not relevant. Either dangerous or location. So I have two folders of pictures sorted through. One with dangerous creature and one with locations.
Perfect.
That's all.
Okay. And is that pretty much what Allison spends most of the day working on? All right. Heading back over to Susie and TC. So Susie, do you spend the entire day working on the language, or is there anything else that you wanted to throw in there with that?
No, honestly, as long as she can keep the philosopher talking, she's taking it all in, and somehow is able to be completely unfazed by how fucking depressed this robot is. She's just like, yeah, that's nice, but tell me more about the language.
Love that. All right, then. TC, once the urine has boiled down to the point that you want it, what do you do?
That perfect little glowing green. Yeah, I'm going to.
Sounds so nasty.
Oh, it's terrible. I accidentally fell into the term hole is problematic there. I fell into a trap of just reading about the alchemist who discovered that you could do that, and it was a terrible time. Regretted it immediately. Would highly recommend it. Yeah, no, I think that after a quick rinse in some kind of water, because there's no sense in giving away your location on scent alone. TC would be more than happy to go with Tamsin and Luna to go collect some materials.
Okay.
I think they were already doing that anyway. Yeah, what's up?
I just wanted to add, if I can if I can watch through all of them through the morning, I would be just happy to help on the afternoon.
Okay. Perfect. Then collectively, if you want to just look at the loot charts for the different zones, like if you're sticking around the island, anything that's on there, collectively, if you spend enough time, you'll be able to find however much of each thing that you need. And we can even say that you spend a few days on this if you want, and kind of fast forward, or just say that you're doing that during times that we're not actively talking or role playing or whatever.
I think it'll probably take a couple of days, just given the number of things I'm looking through here.
Okay, so we probably need to do some catching up on the day before, because there are things to be talked about.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm saying that can just happen off camera.
Okay.
So just we can talk, role play, you can do whatever, and just when you have free time, I'm just gonna say that's when you're getting resources.
Cool. I should have a list here in a minute.
Just so it's not super tedious for the streamed format.
Jay, to that list, can you add?
Am I going to be concerned about this?
It's probably going to put you on a list, but if you could add sulfur and silver to it, I would appreciate it.
Okay.
Just a small amount of both.
If we could also add some more of the gas pods to the shopping list.
Susie requests that you go and give the macro guard some treats, and hands you a bag full of fish guts.
Okay, so silver, sulfur, gas pods. That was it, right? That's it.
Yep, that's all I heard.
If Susie asks Tamsin,
a gallon of milk on your way back, that'd be great.
If Susie asks
Maybe some
Tamsin
smokes.
to go and feed her macrogar, Tamsin's exact response is, "Not my pets, not my problem."
Susie's actually okay with that.
Yeah.
All right.
You wanted to raise them, they are your responsibility. Also, Tamsin is 63 and does not know these macrogar. She will not come back.
All right. Then I think now's a pretty good time to go ahead and take a break. And if everybody's okay with this, just over the break, be thinking about the stuff that you want to find, and we can just fast forward a few days if everyone's okay with that. And say that you've gathered all the materials that you need for whatever you want from either the island or the shallows or the reef section.
Sounds good to me.
Then for everyone watching, we'll be back in about 15 minutes. So go stretch your legs, go get some water, grab a snack, all that good stuff, and come back here in 15 minutes because we'll be right back. right, we are back, and after some discussion, we're not going to fast forward a few days right here. We're going to do it at the end of the session and fast forward like a month after this session, so we can build up some stuff off camera where it won't be tedious. So we're actually just going to be did you all want to do that evening, or are you thinking like the next day?
I'm fine with evening. Everyone else is.
I'm fine with evening too.
Sure, works for me.
All right.
Cool.
Fast forward month. Well, we're back on Earth now, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, Pat, it won't be back on Earth.
Well, we're on the planet we were supposed to be. Wasn't that fun?
Only a few hops, one small jump.
All right. So that evening, you've spent some time getting some materials, working on personal projects and things like that, going on dangerous spy missions that we'll find out if Owen actually talks about, and probably around the time for like the evening meal. Again, there's so much food on the island, I'm not going to make you really worry about it at this point. You just eat. So as food prep's happening and you're eating, what's the conversation of the evening?
Susie is like trying to explain how she's noticed like certain gestures are like used like in certain ways with the tongue and stuff, and like she's explaining this by like using like one of her arms and like flopping her hand around sort of thing to show the way that the movement goes.
Okay.
While stuffing her face full of food.
Wow, that really drives up the bar on don't speak while your mouth is full. This tongue language.
I feel like Luna's probably going to lean over to whoever happens to be closest to her and just say, she fell on her head when she fell off that tree.
I tell you, we didn't see what happened. But no, this is pretty consistent with as long as we've known her.
Right. And Luna's come up with some very theoretical schematics and things on how if they could find like plastic or something like that and an air compressor, how they could balloon this thing off the bottom of the reef and all this stuff, and she's excitedly talking about that, but in between also stuffing her face.
And I think Tamsin's doing the same. She's showing an image on her tablet. She kind of hastily drew of using water pressure instead of using air to like buoy it, just using water pressure to kind of like push it off of the edge.
Yeah. And Alison is pretty enthusiastic about pictures Susie take. And she's actually a bit scolding. She's a bit giving Tamsin a little scolding that she just the way you thought about those pictures was like everybody was bored with them, and this stuff is great and very important, and she shows it to TC. I've cataloged the library of the photos into two important things. I think the folder with dangerous creatures will be beneficial to us who didn't see them in nature, me and TC. But I have also an idea. Two ideas. First, I tagged the...
Also, Susie is like sitting here looking absolutely fucking gobsmacked that like somebody said her work was good.
I know. The first idea is we can use the pictures of places we've been as kind of focus, maybe to improve our odds to teleport there properly, because teleporting into the middle of ocean while trying to hit the underwater base was actually scary.
Tamsin kind of looks over her tablet while she's playing with it and looks at Allison with a look of like, you have no idea.
I didn't think it was that bad.
And the second, we don't even know how deep this facility was. Now I think about it, maybe it's even good we don't know how deep it is.
See, maybe
that could be even scarier.
See, maybe that was the problem, because like we dove down to it first, so we knew how deep it was.
Maybe. So that brings the other question. Can we teleport to places we've never been using just the photos? But I don't know how to test it because the only location we have on those photos is this island, and there's where this you told me this guy started this cult, and we probably shouldn't go there, right?
Has anyone tried teleporting to the tub?
Isn't that? Oh no, the tub. Wait, have we not gone to the tub?
No. Well, it was on the island with Wilfred, so not that we would want to, but I just wondered if anyone had had the thought.
I was mixing it up with the fridge. Sorry.
Yeah, it's common. I like to keep my milk in the tub, and my baths in the fridge.
Important question to set the mood for this conversation. Did Lyle just send the pictures he took to the group, or what has he done with those photos?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, Raven, that's important.
They're still on his tablet. He hasn't done anything with them. Lyle knows what's up and is kind of looking to Owen like, so when do we talk about this?
Talk about what?
Okay.
No, talk about. I don't know what you're talking about.
The trip to the like Lyle's like whispering to Owen.
I don't give a shit. You can talk whenever you want about it. I don't care. I thought we were. I just thought it was. I didn't think it. I thought you were talking about like when were we gonna badmouth the historian or the philosopher, whatever the fuck he is. Which I mean, I thought would be like rude to do in his face more than we already did.
Okay. So Lyle just kind of goes, right. Well, Owen and I got some.
I figured we'd show the pictures at least to TC for sure. At least these ones that I got, because I figured this would be good for like figure out the best way to blow up most of their shit.
We could do that. And Lyle just kind of turns around and goes, well, speaking of that island, TC, you might be interested in this. Owen and I went over there earlier today and just to take a quick look around.
Susie
and I took some good pictures.
At Owen.
So Lyle's
I thought
like,
we got in trouble if we went off without telling people.
No, I thought we got in trouble if we went off on our own, which we didn't do. Quackers was supervising the whole time.
Lyle has moved over to TC and is showing TC all these photos, just like on his own tablet.
I think Tamsin's looking at Allison because Tamsin's like, Tamsin has more than said her piece on the whole, like what we're supposed to do when we leave the island. So she's like, this is in your court now.
And we didn't leave without telling anyone. The philosopher knew where we were the whole time.
And
if he didn't tell you, that's hardly our fault. He usually just loves to. Usually, you can't shut him up.
I will politely but firmly remind you that we do have a radio for a reason. And unfortunately, I guess fortunately, the philosopher has other things to complain about than to keep us abreast of the situation. Speaking of keeping everyone aware of what's going on and the current happenings, these pictures bring a little bit more urgency to the situation. But everyone knows that that house they were on the northwest corner up there, the one with the kind of slightly dented like drain work on the side. We don't go in there anymore.
What? Why?
I feel as though our safety has become a bit of a concern. And so I am, at the moment, reducing some stuff down to give us some means to defend ourselves. Just a couple of things that hopefully we'll never need, but seem to be something we should invest the time in having. And I would hate for someone, if you want to go in there, there's just a door knock policy. I'm happy to let you in at any time and show you everything that's going on in there. It's just if you don't know what things are going to explode, be real careful touching anything. So it might be better just to let me help you out in there.
Yeah, I was just if you are making bombs there, but now I think I got my answer.
Yes, well, not
really...
necessarily bombs. There is, some kind of protective border we could put around here, or some kind of, personal protection device. Also, I'm making flare guns, which we are sorely in lack of. So this is not just something to get, just for violence. This does have a purpose, and we might be able to explore what's beneath the surface of this island a little bit if we have something to make some noise.
Lyle, would you send those pictures to the group? I would actually add them because, well, information is for everybody.
Yeah, Lyle goes, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's get these sent to the group chat. And he does that, and Luna leans forward and looks TC dead in the eyes and goes, "Are you cooking meth in that house?" Because I don't think that'd be very prudent right now. Or ever, really. I mean, I
don't know where to find any pseudoephedrine, so that would be something difficult to accomplish out here.
Alright, so I'll leave you to, she does air quotes, just like, cook your explosives over there, then.
Just to let you know, Luna, if you smell anything that smells odd, say like boiling piss, it's probably because I'm boiling piss in there. So just be aware of that.
She just has a utensil halfway up to her mouth, and she just stops with her mouth open and stares at you for a few seconds.
Yeah, I wasn't taking two baths today for my health.
And then turns her head to Tamsin without saying a word and goes, "So, what do you say we move the priority up on making that still?"
Tamsin just looks at Luna like, you think this is bad. You should ask him what he wanted us to do with our own shit. And then she continues eating with the most blasé expression. Like, she's just used to TC's bullshit by now. She's like, this is so low rent for everything else we have to deal with. If he wants to boil his own piss, let him.
Yeah, she looks at you all like you've all lost your minds. And, yep. That's just, she goes back to her eating.
I think Tamsin will, after that, she'll be like, if you want to still tell me what the ingredients, what you need to make it, and we'll add it to the list. And she's now and then she's rattling off other things that the group might need, but this is just stuff we already discussed on the break. So
awesome. I think I might actually because we are looks like at 10 retweets and comments, I think.
Oh, lovely.
So I'm just gonna say I spend a couple of my d6s, and Luna finds those materials that she's looking for to make that, and that's her new project.
Fair enough.
Luna, Tamsin, I noticed your drawings of trying to get that to float. Have we considered trying to test the limits of the teleporter?
Well, there's a couple of issues with that. One, if we use the return button to try to teleport the entire fridge into the cave, and two, if we try to do it elsewhere and it doesn't work, we may end up killing a bunch of people in cryo. It's not like it hasn't crossed my mind, but I think the outcome of it, if it doesn't work, is substantially detrimental to what we're trying to do.
But why? Owen, we will talk about your trip. I mean, I know you. Actually, no. I don't know. let's table it for a moment. But actually, I'm with you on this teleporting thing. Why do we need to push the return button to get here? We can teleport to the island from somewhere else, exactly like we teleport anywhere else, I think.
Well, my thinking is if these people, and we could ask the philosopher this, I imagine they were around when the teleporting system was being developed, if they designed it so that you could move an entire base worth of materials, I think they probably would have done it. Right? Why don't we see giant structures on the island that they could have moved from elsewhere? Why didn't they do it when they were slowly devolving into what they are now? It seems unlikely that the system could handle that kind of load without consequences.
Well, we can always ask the philosopher if we can like juice it up a little. I mean, it's just a piece of a ship, not an entire island.
It's not a small piece of ship. Tamsin looks at Owen like, what did you have to say?
I forget, do we think that they had any sort of control over the island moving when they designed it?
No,
I know we've been trying to figure out like rudders and engines and shit and kind of hit a dead end that way.
It seems as though there was no intended way to control it. It's only got systems to kind of push it away from land masses if it happens to bump up against them or outcroppings.
So we don't think that there's any chance that teleporting the island was their way of moving the island?
I doubt it. The power requirements of that alone, let alone how the system could tell you were teleporting the island when you were standing on it or touching a rock.
Not that I know how any of that translates into like the mechanical bits of it, but I feel like a lot of it is based just on thought and intention in terms of where we're trying to. Again, I don't know the fucking conversion rate between like.
Honestly, at this point, we don't know. It's basically magic to us, and I'm not keen to test it in case we happen to flip the island upside down or drop it on top of another island. I mean, it's a one-way trip if we fuck it up.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to think of like.
No, it's good.
We could keep.
It's good to talk about. I think it's more risky than the reward would potentially be worth.
We didn't figure out any. Has anyone else put any more thought into weaponizing the bridge?
Well, that's something we could do with the repulsion cannon.
Well, I don't even mean like the bridge itself, but like
using the power.
Yeah, if it's just like what their fucking batteries and wires do, we could potentially create another one.
Yeah, no, that's a very good idea. No, I haven't put too much thought into it, but I got a little while stuff boils down. I could probably put my mind to it for a minute.
If I had to pick a weapon to use against these people, it would probably be some kind of pacification rather than outright murder.
Wait, no, it didn't. The philosopher said though that the bridge was an effect on us, not an effect on them.
Well, no, but Wilfred still has people with him.
There was a lot of people on those pictures. Actually, how many, Raven? More or less. 10, 20, 100?
Yeah, there was I think about a dozen in the pictures.
Actually, question. Did any of those people look like they had augmentation done?
No.
No? Okay.
I mean, it is, a long distance picture on basically
For sure.
a cell phone camera, but yeah, it doesn't, there's nothing that looks like they've got, robot parts growing out of their back or anything like that.
They definitely seemed pretty like worshipy of the robots.
Maybe maybe they're converting them.
I just if we teleported the philosopher there and introduced him to those people, maybe that would make them see that the robots kind of suck, and we'd break up this religion before it gets too far.
Aren't they the ones that almost killed the philosopher?
Is that our problem?
Well, it kind of is if we deliver the philosopher to their death.
But I mean, but conversely, how many lives would it save by destroying this new religion?
You're presuming that they wouldn't just kill the philosopher and claim they were a false prophet or something.
Actually,
Well, I mean,
I'm not sure about this Legion thing. How long ago were they awakened? A week ago? 2 weeks ago?
No more than a month, to be sure.
You can't convince normal, healthy people that some robots are gods.
Well, no offense, Allison, but they came out of cryo to a place they weren't expecting, full of horrible things, and
Of
likely
course,
a
but
large amount
they
of
were-
them died on the trip.
yeah.
There
I
are
mean, you-
colonizers. They were ready to. I mean, they were very. Everybody was, I think, on the ship was a brave person, ready to find to explore the unexplored, to
What if
move the
they've
borders
already
of humanity, and they are just robots. I think they had to be sort of brainwashed or
infected with
nanites
nanites?
and programmed.
I find that
I think we're giving them too much credit, Allison. You and I and Luna have all come to accept this is normal, and that our trajectory that we're on, that we didn't necessarily
Yes, it's
decide
normal.
is the one
We have
that's
crashed on this planet. There
I
are
mean-
alien robots,
but
nothing
their
there says about.
contextual information, their lived experience is going to be wildly different than ours. They live in their own reality from ours. It's not to say that either one is correct. That's to say that they're equally real.
If you were to tell these people that there's a friendly group of survivors living out in the forest with teleportation technology and blue yetis with big wiggly tongues that will save them, they'd probably think you were crazy and in a cult.
One thing we may not have mentioned is that when Wilfred went off of the deep end and swam out to the island we had just discovered, he survived because the robots infected him. So it's reasonable to assume that they set up a similar solution for whoever survived the trip. And if they've got these voices of all the robots in their heads, I hate to say it, but even I would start thinking there's some kind of higher power if they had that kind of control.
Also,
I just
once
can't. I accept your arguments, but I simply can't believe they forgot the mission of Bosco.
They may not have forgotten, but Wilfred might have twisted it into some new plan. Sorry, go ahead, Raven.
Owen definitely
that's
coughed
fine.
up some food laughing at the table.
to rewind for a second, right after I forget now who it was that said the I think it was Owen. So some friendly survivors with blue yetis and a teleporter on
I know.
the force. As soon as you finish that, Luna just pauses for a second, has like an existential crisis as she stares blankly ahead and goes, "For the love of the fuck, that is what happened to me."
She's becoming too
Oh, for
self-aware.
fuck's sake!
Tamsin
I'll be
will
on the
just
bridge.
like, rest a hand on her shoulder, like, yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I'm going to the
Um,
bridge.
Let me know if you need a hand with the still.
She just nods. Acts like she's gonna say something, and then just literally is at a loss for word, and just nods and gives you a thumbs up and goes to the bridge. She's having a Tamsin moment.
Is that what we're calling it now? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Well,
Instead of a
it's
senior
most-
moment, it's a Tamsin moment.
it's most certainly shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Existential crisis, Thompson.
Yeah. God.
And Owen, Could we talk after a meal? Like,
More than we're talking right now.
like, just us.
Been called to the principal's office.
Yo. Can I gut feeling that? Does Owen get the sense that he's in trouble or he's being flirted with?
Oh, Owen. Oh, you naive little bean. I love it.
I hope he fails.
Oh, man.
I hope he
Oh,
gets
God.
a red
But if he
line.
fails, what does it mean?
you
It
gotta
means
admire.
He thinks she's flirting.
You gotta admire the optimism. 23 is pretty good, but it's Owen, so I'm gonna say that you're pretty sure you're getting called to the principal's office, but you haven't ruled out that flirting might happen after that talk.
I am really arrogant. Is my chill.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So you're pretty sure you're in trouble, but you have a feeling that you could turn it into a flirting situation if you try hard.
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
I am making
You're welcome to
horrible
ignore that.
seal noise laughter right now because this is the funniest shit.
Yeah, and Pat, you're welcome to ignore that gut feeling, but that is what your gut's telling you.
Okay.
Your gut would lie to you, Pat.
Oh god. Okay. Are we doing that conversation right now? Is there anything else that people want to do at dinner? Or does anybody want to go talk to the philosopher about any of this?
No.
No hesitation.
I'm sorry.
Let's give it a beat. No.
Yeah, I would like to ask him about juicing the teleporters up or mass limits, but there are more important things on the agenda.
Yeah, I think Tamsin would probably go then, and Allison said to
Okay.
talk about it. Because it is, if there's a way to teleport like large amounts of the cryopods at least, then maybe that's an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're all metaphorically grabbing our popcorn to watch this conversation. So, what does the conversation between Allison and Owen look like?
First things first, where are we having this conversation? Is it your place or mine?
Let's go for a walk.
Oh no.
Oh, please go to the piss house.
For a walk.
I'm sorry, the piss district. It's going to be a district from this point.
Everyone's giggling, but she's secretly taking me out to kill me.
Wait, does that make it the yellow light district?
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
The street lamps have a definite haze around them, that's for damn sure.
Oh goodness. Oh,
It's
no.
sort of hazy out there.
I thought we were done with Pissy Jim, but his legacy continues.
So you're going for a walk.
Look, I know you spent more time than me on this planet. And I know Tamsin and TC make this requirement of having a companion everywhere you go. But why? Just tell me, why wouldn't you say anything to anybody about you wanting to check that island?
I mean, I've brought it up before.
But like that you are doing it now because, well, just imagine, for example, they catch you and you didn't press the button on time,
Mhm.
and nobody knows what happened with you.
I mean,
I myself would worry myself to death.
so it's an interesting thought experiment to me, not because you would die, but because do you think the philosopher would not tell you all where I went? Do you think he would let you die instead of just telling you?
We told someone. I assumed that you all wanting to bring him back here meant that we were including them in conversations and such. And if they were going to be the one on guard patrol in the cave, I feel like that's the same level of care we've given, when we let Lyle know we're going somewhere.
Okay, so we would learn where you went, but still.
I mean, it was dangerous. I understand that, if that's the point that you're trying to make.
No.
But everything on this planet sucks, and I'd rather, to me, the risk of trying to figure out if we could get more information from the robots on what the fuck is actually going on here and how to leave is more worth it than I'd rather take that risk than just take risks every day diving into fucking leeches to keep scraping by day to day. I'm okay with the risking it on the big goal.
I understand, the dangers, and I understand there are choices to be made, but wouldn't it be safer if more people go with you, like we did with that prison earlier, this facility? Because everybody went there, and it was safer.
Everyone went there because it made sense to kind of go in force, or at least to have a kind of a squad. Because the last time we went there, it was just a few of us, and we were easily separated. This was a place where we knew was occupied, and we wanted to be quiet going into it. Lyle is apparently really fucking good at hiding, is one thing I learned today. And, if we had jumped in with more people, we might have not gotten the information we did.
I guess you're right about everything, kind of.
Oh, God, no.
I thought I will tell you that you shouldn't do dangerous stuff because everybody else would be worried if something happened to you, and I would be worried, but you're right that there are no safe choices here.
And I'm only right about things half the time at max. So don't let this set a dangerous precedent. And no, that's fair. People would be worried if something happened to me, but I'm also just not gonna hang out in the fucking town and just learn to wiggle my tongue until the blue yetis don't run away from me for 5 seconds. I appreciate how concerned you seem to be for me.
I'm concerned for all of you. For Susie too. I think she needed this easy day, like Tamsin. She needed it too. And because it's dangerous, it's tiring, it's crazy, it's driving me to madness. I wasn't trained for this, and I quite frankly, I didn't understand why you are so keen on endangering yourself, but you kind of have point here. There isn't really choice between one kind of danger and another kind of danger.
Oh, no, if I go missing, assume that I'm either dead or undercover in the cult, since I've got the robots too. And will definitely not turn on you for real.
Okay, but why are you so damn okay with this?
I mean, versus what?
You said it like you don't care about your own life and safety.
It might be because living on this planet is not a life. This is not my life. This is either a way too long epilogue that should have ended a long time ago, or just a brief intermission till we get to the real shit.
I don't understand you. Why? We can either wait for rescue, we can do something about rescue.
Oh god, I find waiting for rescue.
You don't really
if-
care.
It's not. Oh no, I just don't think waiting for rescue is a valid strategy with how easily we get murdered by pretty much everything on this planet and whatever the fuck the robots are planning. That's probably gonna. I imagine that's gonna end faster than Bosco shows up.
I thought we have it going good here.
I mean, we've got it better than we've got it better than drowning and getting eaten alive by fish in the middle of the ocean, but that's kind of a shitty bar to compare life to. Like you said, it's not bad. The people, not the robot, are great. So yeah, it's the best of a shit situation, if that makes sense. We're all going through something terrible together and are making the best of it, but I'm not comfortable with making that the long-term norm.
Okay, I understand that. You are a little short on hope. But can't you just care about your life for a little longer? Be careful.
Oh, I don't know that I'm short on hope. I was the one that was most hopeful that letting the aliens off the planet is not a huge issue. Because that's, to be totally honest, that's our best fucking bet about getting off of here, in my opinion. Because they seem to have everything set except for an off switch that we can get to. So yeah, it's the hope is measured by what we're talking about. Us all surviving and just living a great vacation island life until Bosco shows up with like home cooked meals and like safety blankets is not something I'm especially hopeful for.
Why? This was a well-prepared mission. I know. I don't know. Bosco didn't plan for us to crash here, but it's those aliens doing, and they will most certainly send a rescue team to and will find us.
Yeah. So I mean, either the aliens' plan works, or the rescue team shows up, gets stuck in whatever fucking bullshit sphere is around this planet anyway, and also crashes.
You're right.
So, I mean, regardless of how competent or not you want to think of Bosco, one, we have to survive that long, and two, for them to be able to get to us, part of the aliens' plan would have to work first anyway.
You're actually right. We need to send a signal to the rescue team if you want to be rescued. I didn't think about it. You're right.
Like I said, don't get used to that. And I mean,
okay.
No,
so
ahead.
we need to work on saving ourselves. I get you. I really get you now. But please be more careful, okay? Please talk with people. Like, these pictures are important. Like TC, TC light up seeing them in very bad way and started talking about explosive. I sort of understand. I sort of don't approve. I really wish, philosopher, those aliens didn't be like us in this cycle of violence. But
well, I mean, like, I thought about my nerve gas stuff, but I don't think we'd be able to get a chemical agent that far from the top of the mountain, so explosives might be the best way to go.
What do you mean by nerve gas stuff?
Oh, I pull out my gun.
I'm not getting through, chat. I'm not getting through.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't. Unfortunately, I'm assuming that this probably doesn't work on the aliens. So, haven't really gotten to use it. But
It also looks like a toy. I feel like a kindergarten teacher would appreciate.
I'm kind of imagining one of those, like, I don't know if you remember those Nerf guns that shot the like Nerf balls.
Yeah, and that's what I pictured it as, like, or like the ones that had the little foam discs that you slip
Yeah,
into a
but
tube of
there's
soap.
there's a little spelling difference between nerf and nerve.
It was a jumping off point.
Yeah, if you started with showing, not telling, we would maybe get much farther.
Listen, I'm not jumping to throw my life away, if that's what you're worried about. I'm
Okay.
measuring how risky I think each situation is versus its reward.
Okay.
If I was just
so
if I was just, gonna gamble my life on literally the next thing, I would have tried to teleport back to Earth as soon as Tamsin and I had the idea.
Okay. So maybe let's try something else. I'm muttering almost to myself. If you heard it, then you heard it. So maybe ask me for help next time, okay? I'm really here to help.
Mhm. Right, I can absolutely do that. I feel like this will be one of those situations where, like, and again, I apologize if I'm assuming incorrectly, but like one of those things where, like, you want to be invited to things even though you don't think you want to go to them, because it's like, no offense, but we all went out and there were the slightly dangerous little fish that are like probably the easiest thing that we have to kill, and you made a good survival job of removing yourself from the situation and letting Susie and I kill them. But that tells me that you probably don't want to spend your day going to an island that's filled with people that would probably want to capture us and do bad things. Which is totally fair. You don't have to be involved in that.
Okay.
And, I appreciate that you want to spend more time with me and are taking such an interest. I don't want to, dash things too quickly here. You're not exactly my type, but I think we can still be really good friends.
No, you're right. I really wouldn't like to go with you on that dangerous island. And she turns 180 and walks back.
My God.
Little piece of shit.
Is she walking back to the village?
Yes, of course she is.
I teleport back to the village.
Oh my God! My head.
Oh, it's such a little shit.
You're such a little shit. I didn't even realize how shitty you are when I was saying you're such a little shit.
I think there's a reason Tamsin and Owen get along sometime.
Yeah.
Okay, we can scroll.
Well,
If I
yeah.
see Owen back in the village, I won't speak a word to him.
We haven't heard from Susie in a bit. What's Susie up to while that conversation is happening? After dinner and all that. You might be muted, Alex.
Hopefully awake.
Or maybe not there.
It's totally possible. Hey, Alex.
All right. Well.
Yeah, I think they're out.
All right. In that case, Tamsin and or TC, what are you doing right now?
You can go with TC if he's got anything.
I mean, well, nobody else really seems. I think maybe if Susie didn't have any objections to it, TC would start kind of going around and making a perimeter and seeing if Susie had any interest in tactics and strategies and things like that. Not really sure what her reaction would have been, so we can just say what it was, when they're back. But he's definitely looking for like defensible positions and clear lines of sight, and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Just trying to get a better layout of the place. Now that they know that violence is on the table, we have to be adequately prepared for it.
That's fair. Yeah, it looks like Alex's computer might have crashed. So we'll put that placeholder in there for now. Hopefully Alex will be back soon. All right. Does anybody go talk to the philosopher?
Tamsin would, yeah. She was gonna head that way after dinner.
Excuse me.
She hasn't really had a chance to speak with the philosopher yet, beyond the, fixing it up.
Yeah. When Tamsin gets in there, Crackers is like sitting on a makeshift chair, and the philosopher is across from Quackers, and is just steadily talking to Quackers the duck, sharing the history of their people.
I really wish this duck had like a memory that we could download from. God damn it, Lyle. I think Tamsin will stand there for a minute or two, just kind of like soaking in the situation of like, is it really? Are you fucking kidding me with this duck? This fucking duck. I could strangle this duck. And she'll cough.
That was the second exodus from the capital city.
She'll make herself known when there's a pause in the conversation, like,
Oh, yes, hello. Stay a while and listen. It doesn't actually say that, but
Oh my god.
I can't not hear it. I can't
right?
not.
But the philosopher does look over at Tamsin and nods to acknowledge you there and goes, "Oh, hello there. Would you like to listen to the story?"
I would, but I do have a pressing question first. Do you know anything about the teleportation network? What its limitations, how it works?
I know very little about it. I know it was made by the builders. I believe you read some of my texts from the libraries here.
Tamsin makes a mental note to check over what Susie has written about them.
So you probably know there were 3 factions. We had there's no perfect word translation for your language, but you could call us the philosophers, I suppose. We sought to be one with nature and to seek enlightenment and ascension that way.
Monk
builders
would probably be the closest term.
There's like a moment where you can see like the digital gears turning, and then they nod and they're like, something like that, yes. There were the true criminals, whom you've unfortunately met, that look a lot like me now, and the builders, who were either sent here under false charges, or political prisoners, or just criminals that weren't that criminally.
Prison labor, right.
Yeah, they were very good at building things, hence the name. And they tried to recreate as much of our people's society as they could. And they're the ones that made the teleporters. So I know a little because they built it for us on this island to make sure that we would be able to get back here. And some of the builders settled here with us. Long-winded explanation of how that happened and why the houses are the way that they are, and drones on for quite a while.
Okay.
And eventually gets back around to... So that's how I know about the teleporter, and
This is like
afraid I
asking
don't
your
quite know how it
grandfather
works.
in the hospital. Grandma, do you remember this thing? Well, it all started in 1923 with a young man.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think Tamsin's experienced this in her field multiple times, where someone just kind of rambles off on a totally different track, and she's sitting there like, I needed that answer 20 minutes ago because I had a symposium on that topic. So she kneels down next to the philosopher and lays a hand on just like their shoulder or their arm, and kind of looks them dead in the eyes, like, we need a little more than just the history. If you don't know enough about it, is there any insight you might be able to help us get, maybe around the power source it uses or the potential capacity of the network? We're trying to see what limitations we're working with.
Well, I don't know about things technical. That's actually sort of contrary to my religion. But I do know
Luddite.
where.
And she kind of nods to herself, like to know it in particular about herself.
Okay. The philosopher just has no idea what you're talking about, but
Yeah.
nods. I don't know the thingamajigs and the gizmos and whatnot. Actually uses those words. It says, but I do know where they kept some of these things. I could probably show you I believe they called them maintenance tunnels.
Yes, actually, that would be brilliant if you could show us where those are. Even if we have some inkling or writing, if the builders left behind schematics or otherwise, were they known to write these things down, or was that more your people's job?
Well, I kept the written history of the philosophers, or the monks, as you called them. Long explanation of how he got that job.
Mm-hmm. I think Tamsin kind of like cuts him off halfway. Like, did you ever record anything mechanical or technological in nature?
No, that would be promoting things that are against our beliefs.
Right. Okay. So, yes, if you could, and she'll pull out her tablet with like kind of the scans they've done of the island, and just ask for directions essentially, or locations.
Yeah, and the philosopher is able to like sort of download onto your map. It's almost like adding another layer to an image.
Right.
Just like an overlay that shows you where the maintenance tunnels are.
Are there more than like a handful? Is it kind of like they're crisscrossing the whole island?
No, it's basically just one main tunnel, and it branches off to a few other little areas, but it's not very big or complex at all.
Okay.
And as far as you can tell, there's there's a maintenance entrance, sort of at the base of the like if you were to go to the bridge
Mm-hmm.
from the side that you're on now and look straight down. In that sort of canyon, there's a door that goes into the mountainside that would let you get in there, and you can access things like the sewer system, the power system, and that's pretty much all there is down there.
Okay.
I'm just imagining TC's eyes lighting up at getting access to the sewer system.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You're a tad distant on your mic there, Alex. I think the last, she would probably entertain the philosopher a little bit in terms of like just letting them talk about whatever, because she is curious about it all, and now that she has some kind of lead, she's a little less keen to just pump them for information.
Okay. Yeah, they ramble for a bit, and they get on the topic of the planet because they started talking about maintenance tunnels and the builders and where things are. And they explain all the different places that they've been on the planet, that there is actually a mainland somewhere off in the distance that the island floated to at one point, and some of the people decided to settle there. It was after a very long time of wandering at sea, and that at one point when the Rylands sort of holding down the fort, if you will, here, left or died off or whatever, that they did go explore a lot of the facilities that they had, including the power station. And he says, though at the time I didn't know what it was.
Sorry, you mentioned the power station. Have you've been there?
Oh, yes. It was about 9,000 rotations ago.
Do you think it would still be in the same place as when you got there?
Well, it was pretty deep under the ocean and sort of built into the seafloor, so I suppose it would be.
This may be a stretch, given that your whole order and your reticence to go anywhere, but would you be willing to take a trip down there with some of us? Since we can't teleport there, since we've never been, perhaps you could be the key to unlock that specific door?
Well, if I were to go there in my current form, I would die.
Are there security systems?
Of a sort. They essentially set up the facility so that technology doesn't work there. One of the reasons I was drawn there as a young physical person, and goes on to explain how, you know, anti-technology fields would be great for their belief system.
Of course, yeah.
would remove temptation. There's just like a 30-minute lecture about the evils of technology.
And Thames is just sitting there like, Yep, my entire field wouldn't exist if it were for technology.
Meanwhile, the philosopher's unintentionally inspiring Susie to make new technology.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Also, actually, you know what? I think partway through that, Tamsin's going to stop the philosopher dead and go, isn't it technically technology that's making the anti-technology fields?
And there's like a pause of thinking. It's like, that is true, but it would be trading you know, a much larger evil for a much smaller evil.
Oh yes, I've heard that argument many times. And she'll allow them to continue.
Yeah. They probably go on like some long
No,
explanation of how like
Samson's found somebody she can argue with.
Oh yeah.
They probably go on some long explanation of like that's ultimately why they decided not to pursue taking that and just to focus on the island and blah 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 blah.
Tamsin will probably make a few little digs here and there, but nothing like aggressive. Very much just so like, oh, I've noticed a few holes in your plot. You know, let me point those out to you. Yeah.
So, yeah, most of the information is useless to you, but they give you a lot of information about why their belief system is the way that it is, and how they believe that they could basically ascend to a higher plane of existence through basically getting down to the most basic aspects of life.
Tamsin's not going to say it, much as I would love her to, but she's definitely thinking like, well, isn't it a little ironic given your current situation?
Yeah.
Some form of ascension, I suppose. Do they have any recollection of a rough area that the power station looks like? Obviously it's underground, but do they remember kind of what it looks like? A mental image? Not
really. It's been like 9,000 years, so
that's fair.
The memory circuits are a little degraded for that part.
That's fair. It was worth a shot.
But they can confirm that you have the right location for where it is, though.
Okay, well that's good, because I don't remember what the location was, so it's good to know that we had the right information.
Yeah, it's basically like from where the fridge was and where you found the island, like you keep going that direction and super deep.
Okay, that is definitely some kind of direction. I think
you take a right at the giant Leviathan, and then you take a left over at the, you know,
the corpses of our entire species. I think after a bit more discussion, Tamsin would thank them gratefully. Like really appreciate your help in this. I know technology isn't exactly your people's strong suit, but it will help us in our kind of fight, if you will, against the I don't know, we should really think of a name for them, but Wilfred and the other robots.
They make like a hand gesture. It's like, well, in our language, this would be done with the tongue, and it's some intricate movement.
Tamsin will ask them to do it again, and good. They'll she'll hold her PDA up to record it.
Okay.
Just so that she can then show it to Susie and see if she understands it and can translate somewhat.
And the translation is roughly filthy criminals.
Yeah, good. Lovely. Okay. So she'll thank the philosopher for their time and ask if they need anything or want anything. Do they want to be moved out of this room? Would they like more comfort or other, distraction, things to write on?
They basically just explain that they want to share their knowledge until the time when they can finally die, essentially.
Right. Okay.
You get the feeling that like death wouldn't be the worst thing to them at this point in their long life.
Tamsin understands that on a level she's not ready to confront yet. But Pat, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, pretty much. Those have been worthy of comfort. It's sort of like that, like, they don't want to kill themselves, but also, like, if they were to not exist anymore, that'd be okay.
That'd be all right, yeah. Okay, yeah, so she would then send a message off to TC saying, basically the old trope of, you're going to want to look at this. And then she'll forward an image of the maintenance tunnels.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's all she'll do unless TC messages her back. She's just going to go and think, really, do a bit of maths.
I think TC will just respond with "Thank you."
I think Damson will just starkly reply back, "Buddy system, wink." And then she'll follow up with me. It was me. I was mentioning I would like to go with you when you go explore this.
All right. Is there anything anybody else wants to do for that evening?
I'm good.
All right. Then everyone goes to sleep. You've got the next day. Luna has disappeared. Has left a note of like, hey, I'm grabbing stuff around the island. Yes, I'm technically by myself, but I'm going to areas you've explored and I have my radio on. Turn to frequency this. Sorry.
I think Tamsin would do a quick radio check with her just to make sure she's not dead.
Yeah, she radios back. She's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm down here by the shore. I'm grabbing some materials for a very important project.
I'm probably sure it's an engine or something.
Yeah.
Kind of, yes.
I mean, technically, you could use it to make fuel for an engine.
I technically, yeah.
She comes back sometime later with some titanium and copper and just grabs the mobile fabricator and starts building a still. Good. And it's large. It's like an attachment to one of the houses.
Oh, goodness. So I guess plans for next session, even with the time skip, I think if TC's okay with it, Tamsin would like to go along to the maintenance tunnels.
Yeah. That'll be pretty quick. So let's go ahead and explore that, and then we'll wrap it up and we'll do the time skip.
I'm also going to have Susie try and make something.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
She's gonna try and make herself not like a seeing the stars telescope, but seeing along the horizon telescope.
Oh, so like a spyglass almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Let's see if she can't make that with some quartz, and not necessarily titanium even. But as long as she can get the lenses the right depth, that's all she needs.
What was that?
We don't have any quartz.
Never mind. Susie goes out for a walk looking for some good quartz because there's no more left. So that's what Susie does for the morning.
Like
All right.
She leaves a note and she takes Quackers with her.
Okay.
doesn't count.
Lyle was still asleep. She asked Quackers. Quackers quacked and came with her.
If you want me to add the thing to the list, I can add it.
Yeah.
All right.
She's also gonna just like gather like herbs and stuff, but she's gonna like dig them up a bit, and so she can bring them out for when we start planting the garden. That way, there's enough of it, or there's enough of the herb foods that don't necessarily add nutrition amounts, but they allow the food to be better quality.
Yeah. Seasonings.
Seasonings, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
You can transplant those.
That's basically what she's doing with her morning then.
Okay. And then Owen and Allison, are you going with anyone else doing those things, or are you doing your own stuff?
I mean,
I want to hang with Susie.
All right.
I mean, if Owen knew about service tunnels, he'd probably want to go to service tunnels. But I don't know if Owen knows about the service tunnels.
Tamsin would
not
spread the
have-
information. She just wanted TC to be the first to know.
Because I'm curious to see if cause at some point I tried to scan the pipes and shit on the island, the pipes and the wires.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Did a shit job and just saw they were going down.
Right.
So I'd like to
Confirm that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
I'm hoping that this puts us one step closer to figuring out how to make that power and get a little feel-good battery like the bridge.
All right. Then, yeah. As you go explore, you are able to find the maintenance tunnels, and the door is like, even looking for it, knowing where it is, it was really hard to find because it's been just so overgrown, and it's like it's the same building material.
Same
that you see
material, yeah.
all over the place, but this has like some mud sort of caked into the gap, and it's baked, and it's more like, adobe or something like that. It's really hard to get the thing open, but you managed to do so. And the tunnels aren't creepy at all. I mean, not a bit. Totally don't have moisture running down the sides, dimly lit, and weird noises, and you swear you see shadows out of the corner of your eye, like all the ghost of the dead Rylands are haunting this place. Nothing like that.
Well, that's reassuring to know.
And by that I mean it's exactly like that. It's really creepy and spooky, but it's decently well lit. The lights in here are still working. It's very similar to the lights in the cave, where they change colors and whatnot as you walk by them. And basically you can go left, which kind of goes down a little bit, or you can go right, which goes up a little bit. And there is a sign on the wall that says what each direction is, which Owen, oddly enough, can read. So power station to the left, sewers to the right.
Yep, so that's probably the way TC wants to go if you want more waste product. That's probably where it's all collecting. And then I'm guessing Tamsin wants to go here because it is probably gonna get you some good bridge vibes.
Yeah, well, I mean,
batteries.
she's interested in the bridge stuff, but also she would like to know how the power and everything else is working. She's not just a junkie; she's a junkie who's good at math.
I mean, it's a shame that we can't go to both locations, since there's only 3 of us, and there's no way we'd all have a buddy.
You're right. TC, turn your radio off. But
right, so just going
in
around.
seriousness, I think Tamsin would give TC a look and see what he's thinking.
As long as we're roughly in the same location with an established rendezvous point and a means of communication.
As long as
We
we're
did
close
leave
enough
here in groups.
We're close enough to hear somebody scream if they get attacked. We'll find the
Yeah.
body.
I think partway through TC going through that, Tamsin's already started slowly moving. Like, it was kind of, she's still facing, but she's kind of slowly maneuvering to the down path.
I mean,
Alright.
TC wants to check out like the other stuff too, but
Mhm.
I mean, he's going shit diving with y'all is not his main priority right now. So
Well, thank fuck for that. I think we're on the same page.
All right. So Owen and Tamsin are going to the power station, and TC's going to the sewer.
Yeah.
Is that-
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
is that
I
how
mean,
that's-
TC's fine to go to the power station with y'all. That wasn't.
Oh,
Yeah, we can do
I
power
would
station
like to go to the
first.
power station.
Yeah. Power station
all
first.
right.
More than the shit room.
Then yeah, you make your way to left, and it kind of goes down, and you're all able to figure out like, yeah, this is going towards where those generators are and the vents are at the bottom of the island
Right,
and whatnot. It definitely has like abandoned power station, underground cave kind of vibe to it. It's very
Mhm.
creepy and spooky sounds, but aside from seeing, like weird shadows at the corner of your eyes that you're pretty sure are just being paranoid, nothing happens.
This is probably why we should rub flashlights. Yeah.
Well, the lights are still working, they're just dim. But eventually you do make it to what looks like there's sort of a room to the left of the hallway, and then the hallway opens up into a larger sort of like a generator room, and the room to the left looks like it's the controls. So there's computer consoles that look similar to what you saw at the outpost under the ocean. And then the generator room has basically the power cell that you saw on the Philosopher. It's like a super mega giant version of that. There's a couple of them, and you can see that there's like power lines running to those, and they're kind of glowing as they're being charged, and they look like they're probably like some sort of either battery or capacitor for the power that's being generated by the vents and the turbines below that you've already seen. And you can see that the power lines do go up towards where the bridge is, and there's also some that go up towards like where you're pretty sure the teleporter is, and those cables seem a lot thicker, so presumably because it takes more power than the rest of the island. And also off towards the sewer section as well.
Okay. Do these cables look really well insulated? Like, does it look as though they're arcing at all? Do they look, relatively safe?
They're super well insulated, and
I think
oddly,
Tamsin.
they don't
Good.
show any sign of wear.
Interesting. I think Tamsin would put her hand on one and see if there's any effect, even just the insulated charge.
You get a milder version of the sensation you get from the bridge.
Okay. Yep, that's good enough for Tamsin. She's happy as a clam to find that out.
Does Tamsin make a face when that happens?
Oh yeah, she goes from like the quizzical, like I wonder, to a, oh yeah, yep, I was right.
TC is just gonna look her dead in the eye and go, and here, I thought I was the only one that went around licking shit.
I could go back a bit and just work on that terminal if y'all need some alone time.
Tamsin gives Owen a look that's like, "Don't you dare use that terminal without me." But yeah, she takes her hand off of it, kind of, and then goes, "I mean, it's all still working, so I suppose that's for the best right now. But let's see if those terminals have anything extra. I'd love to see if they made some notes."
Okay. Yeah, the terminals are working just fine. The screen is all in Ryland, so only Owen's able to read it. And from what you can see, it says that essentially it's on an automated program. That's what causes it to shut down when there's a storm. And it's basically an sort of like an AI type program, but like super duper basic, like the type of AI we have today. That basically it keeps everything running. And it's so well made that there's really not much sign of wear or tear on anything. Like the capacitors are operating at like 90% efficiency instead of 100%. That's about it. But everything's drawing the expected amount of power.
Hmm. And there doesn't seem to be any way to like disengage said automatic program. Not that we would.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
Just... Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you absolutely can turn that off if you want to.
I mean, Tam's got to look at Owen like, it's
you could
an
also
option.
put one of those lampreys on your face if you wanted to, but
That's true. Yeah, we could do that.
It's if you're gonna do that, I don't know that I would have TC do it, because like the last two computers I've seen him touch, like one is blown up and the other shoved a bunch of nanites in him.
He's not. No, that would be me and someone else probably. Yeah.
Feel like y'all are talking about me.
Yeah, I said you probably shouldn't blow up this computer.
I mean, objectively speaking, that is a correct statement.
I mean, it is a very strong talent of yours that I continue to be impressed by.
Do you
You're
two
being
need
entirely
a minute?
sincere.
Should I go look on the terminal while you two?
Owen does not say no.
Yeah.
You
The
see-
my disaster shit that we all love.
oh my god. And to make it a little bit clearer, like just how complex this looks, it's like if someone who pretty much only speaks English and knows nothing about how spacecraft work, suddenly found myself on a Russian space shuttle in the middle of space that was on autopilot, and I have no idea what all the weird symbols and alphabet things mean, or the knobs and levers and whatnot, and it'd be like me contemplating, should I take this off of autopilot? That's the scale of complex and just foreign and alien it looks to you.
Okay.
Even better, an autopilot that you know is going to keep you fairly safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's really no reason for me to turn the autopilot off, but I'm like, should I?
I mean, it would be an odd move. It would be a risky move for us to fuck with this.
It would, but it may be the only way that we can access more of the power.
Oh, I guess my thought was, worst case scenario, if the robots ever find this place and overrun it, we could come down here and trash the power source, and then they wouldn't have the teleporter anymore.
That's true. That is a very good point.
Like break this in case of emergencies.
Right.
Just like break the whole fucking thing.
I think Tam's gonna look at TC, like, it wouldn't hurt to have some kind of remote explosive just in case. Provided that you think it's safe enough. I don't want some bottle of watered down piss with a charge in it.
No, I do understand. I would like to check out these connections a little bit more to make sure that we weren't going to, if say something was keeping an island afloat, I would be most unhappy if the propulsion unit suddenly failed. So I'd like to know the extent of the collateral we'll be causing in that scenario. But I think that you're right. I think it's something that it's not a bad idea.
Actually, you raise a really good point. If we try to draw more power, we might end up causing other systems to fail.
I just thought of a really bad idea.
I was
Honestly,
gonna say, Pat's got an idea. I see it.
Tamsin's doing the little over the glasses look like. You want to share with the class?
I mean, the one thing that we know that the robot douchebags have been looking for on this planet forever is this island, right?
Right.
So, if they found out where that was, that's something that they'd probably take their whole forces to immediately right away.
You want to set up an ambush?
Oh, I was thinking more like get them all to this island. If apparently TC has the chops to create a charged timer, we teleport back to our original island, and then before anyone else can use the teleporter, boom.
So
And everybody that we hate is then stuck here on this island, which might sink.
there's a few problems I see with that. Not that it isn't a good idea, but one, Wilfred was infected with robot nanite goo in the middle of the ocean, as far as we know, which means they can probably swim.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Two, not that this will necessarily sway you, given what we've heard, but the Rylans that are currently living here would then pay the price for that ambush.
All right. Hey, I don't want to. I did not think of the Yeti people. I don't want to kill the Yeti people. That was.
I think
Just-
we can all agree on that.
Yeah, just given your attitude to the philosopher, I guess. I
don't-
assumed
the philosopher could stay with the other people. I don't know. I don't. Is he worthy to use the teleporter? Do we know yet?
it would seem he's not especially keen for most trips, no. I did find out that he had gone to the original power plant, though he doesn't remember where it was and isn't willing to go there because there's an anti-technology field.
I
I
should
mean,
just
that
point
makes
out,
sense.
just out of character, he never said he was unwilling. He just said that he would die if he goes there.
Yeah, so Tamsin read that as he's unwilling.
Okay.
But he did give me some rough directions to it. So once we have some more equipment, we can definitely go down there. But I don't dislike your idea. I just think we need a more concrete way of trapping them.
And it's ideally, and now we're talking like way hypotheticals, but like maybe once Susie can communicate with the blue people and teleport them with us to a different island and let them live there. I don't fucking know.
No, I agree with you.
I was spitballing when I saw something that they wanted that we could destroy.
It's certainly not off the books, at least for me. But
I think one thing we can probably put to rest is the idea that the systems are currently running at their maximum output. I can't imagine something this elaborate would be constructed to run with no capacity for overdrive for dealing with adverse situations like storms and things. It seems like they would want to have it to run 20% higher than what they normally would need to accommodate any stressors placed on it from the environment.
Right.
So
or
I think,
in case it shuts down.
Yeah, I think we've got a little bit of wiggle room here with the at least as far as the resources are concerned.
What we should do is, Raven, let me know if this is something we can actually see on the computer, is see what the consumption level is when we teleport with just one person, with multiple people, see if we can even notice that on their systems. And that way we might get a sense for how much drain it's causing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that you could eventually test out.
Okay.
And I can go ahead and tell you what the test will say for the future if you'd like.
Yeah, we can do it for next session. I'm not fussed right now.
Okay.
But just to see like almost a chart, like a graph of power consumption.
Yeah.
Just to see if there's any spikes based on when we teleport.
See what the grid can handle, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's teleportation. Like, is it exponential energy? Is it cumulative energy? Like, very important to know these things.
All right. And then did you want to check out the sewer system before we wrap it up?
I mean,
as well, we're down
while
here.
we're here, yeah, I'm not going like shit scuba or nothing. I'm just looking around to see if they're accessible means of transportation.
Yeah.
We're just window shopping. We're not committing to taking any shit home with us.
Well,
Also,
we're just
I
browsing.
did bring a bag,
Yeah.
but I don't know if their shit has phosphorus in it.
I should mention, Tamsin has been relaying images of this whole place to everyone else's PDAs while they've been down here.
Okay, cool.
I forgot to mention it when we got down, but she did the same thing that Luna did, was like, hey, we found some maintenance tunnels because I messaged these all last night. So
Yeah, Luna, you get a lot of excited messages from Luna.
yeah, of course.
Who wants to come look at it.
Susie has been using the pictures to add it to her map.
Nice. Okay.
Nice. All right. And then if you head back over the other direction towards the sewer, it's not too far away. The island's really not that massive, especially when you're not having to worry about topography. So it's not too far of a walk to get over to the sewer system. And it's basically like a giant tank, if you will, that you're able to walk up to the top of. So the tank is like built into the ground. And there's a big pipe that sort of comes down and deposits, the waste, if you will, into the tank. And the tank is full of water with a big spinning like arm that just sort of goes around like an agitator almost. And the tank is lined with that material that you saw in the pond that seemed to like filter things, as is the arm.
Interesting.
And there's also piping that goes up, presumably with fresh water, which is why you have water in the houses and the ability to flush and whatnot there. And it also keeps the sewage from building up in the depositing pipe. So it looks like the stuff just goes into this big tank full of water. It gets stirred up, and the material, that weird porous material, purifies it somehow. And what's not water ends up in the soil around it.
Interesting. Are there any terminals or any other kind of machinery in here? Or does this just look like it's self-contained?
That is a brilliant process for wastewater management.
It really
I'm
is.
just like actually I used to live near a wastewater treatment plant, and like the sound of that is just like way more efficient and cool.
Yeah, same here.
Thanks. I was pretty proud of it. I was like, what if you were to combine like a water treatment facility and a septic tank?
Yeah, essentially, and a separator. Yeah.
So yeah, that's how that works. And there's not really much in the way of controls here. There's like a thing that you can, very basic controls, like you can shut down the arm if you needed to go like do something in the tank for some reason. But that's about it. Like you can turn the arm on and off. You can close the pipe that brings the sewage in, so you don't get shit on, while you're fixing something. Well, that's it. That's all the controls.
All right.
And that's how all that works. In there is, I imagine, a computer console that lets you know if there's any problems or anything like that. And I will say, since I don't think you've all figured this out quite yet, and I don't know that it'll come up later, so I want to give you this information while you're here. The material, the mineral or whatever it is that's used to purify the water also has like healing properties. It's like super healthy water essentially for you because of that.
Oh man, and with how fast humans heal already.
Yeah. And I think you're probably at this point able to put two and two together. Figure like, oh, that's why Susie healed so fast.
I was wondering because it hasn't happened until we hit the island, so it had to be something here. Okay.
Yeah, and Wilfred was still limping.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. It's because of the water here.
Okay.
Wait, did we just find the Fountain of Youth? Did we legit find the Fountain of Youth?
Kinda.
Kind of.
This whole thing has been about.
It's more like the Fountain of Regeneration, really.
Yeah, it's not going to stop you from dying or growing old or whatever, but it will speed up the healing process. And
we don't know that yet, do we? We haven't been here long enough.
I mean, you could hypothesize that and be wrong. It'd be a
Don't you know
long
a day
testing
here
period.
is 10 years, Pat?
Wait, Tabs, does this change the map? Does this change the math on the clone situation? Because if we thought all the clones died, but they drank the water, maybe they're still out there.
I think Tamsin gives Owen the longest look because at first she isn't even sure what he's talking about. She's like, clone situation. What are you talking about? Oh, what? Theoretically, if there were clones, I'm not saying there are clones. If there were clones and they had drank this water, it would have to have cloned the microbes or whatever is causing this rapid healing. And if they dropped in the middle of the ocean, they'd still be dead.
Okay.
But hypothetically, if they didn't, then probably. Do you still think there's clones?
I don't know. I'm not ruling it out.
I'm not ruling it out either, but I'm not going to write a thesis paper on it.
I mean, I wouldn't write a thesis paper on anything.
You
That sounds
know
terrible.
what I mean. TC, is this poop good for you? Is this the good shit?
Honestly, I am.
There's the raid cry. Is this poop good for you?
This is going to be the most
100%.
disappointing part. I don't know what it's made of. So we're going to have to just take a little bit so I can figure out if there's anything useful in it. I don't know.
I hope
don't
you brought
know
a shovel.
And TC will just take the hollow pipe that he's got and just. Nope.
I'm sorry. I was also double checking to see if someone was online. What is it you're scooping up with a pipe?
The soil that's surrounding the thing.
Yep.
If that is in fact what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just so I'm clear on it, because the way I had understood it was that there was soil surrounding this settling tank, and that's where the leftovers were going.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I kind of had the mental image of the tunnel being more like concrete or like the same building material. So it's not like, you're just walking on dirt and you can just stick something in there.
Just in this room. That's more what I was thinking, because I wasn't sure where you meant
But-
like the soil was going
But
or the waste was going.
we could say there's like an access panel or something like that you could like
Okay.
check the soil or something. So yeah.
Sure thing. Yeah. So I'll stab it to the little kind of tube that I have.
You're basically pipetting it.
Yeah, just a big pipette.
That's so gross.
Really uncomfortable ground catheter.
Oh, that's somehow even
Did
worse.
you need that? Was that necessary?
It wasn't, but I did. So
Well,
I'm sorry,
on that
what
note,
catheter?
Nope, we're not gonna. Nope, it's
nope,
already passed. It's done.
it's
don't,
done.
don't
It's
worry
over.
about it.
Over.
On that note, yeah, you figure out how the island works. You've got information. You've got your soil sample, and I think that's a good spot to wrap it up. Unless there's anything anybody wants to say in character. Oops, sorry, hit my microphone. Say in character before we head out.
Not necessarily in character, but this is just a Zan. I do have another scanner on the list of stuff we're gonna make, and I think with the scanner you could probably more easily identify what's in there.
100% I could. Yeah, that is what TC is hoping for. Like TC
Cool.
is fully prepared that he might have to, burn a little bit and dry a little bit and figure out what's going on.
Listen,
but
we're on an
we
alien
don't-
planet with advanced tech. We don't need to do
I'm
simple
super
chemical
down
analysis.
super down with scanning that right there. That
We
is
need to run alchemy
I'm
with
down
one.
for a high tech solution to this
Cool.
problem.
All right. Well, then we will close out our session here with the camera panning back to the teleporter room, where the philosopher is explaining the second age to quackers, and that's where we'll end it out.
So glad that ends with quackers. I was worried someone's just going to show up.
Wilfred shows up, and the philosopher goes, "Stay a while and listen." No, it's just the philosopher talking to quackers. We're gonna go on a raid here. Let me just double check that who I'm wanting to raid is online, because I was gonna raid somebody and then they saw, they're like, all right, we'll see you next week. Oh, nope, I'm not gonna raid them. Yes, they're still going. All right, we're gonna go raid Nerdsmith here in, in just a moment. But before we do, I want to let everybody say what their favorite part was, where we can find them, and anything they'd like to plug or share. We'll go reverse order from our intros, so we'll start with Jay.
Honestly, if I had to pick a moment, it's probably Owen being the best little shit on the prairie. It just, chef's kiss. I couldn't have seen that last little bit, that callback to something he's done all season. Everything about it was wonderful. And on top of that, I think getting to see Luna finally realize like the level of shit that she's really fallen into, just from kind of day one, because it puts it in perspective for us too. I feel, because we were so like inundated with this, especially with Allison being like, "But why would you think that?" And we're like, "That's just always been that way, same as it ever was." So it's nice to have characters constantly remind us of how terrible we're thinking and like how how doom and gloom that we've been. But yeah, this was a wonderful session. I'm glad that we finally figured out the healing bit. That yeah, probably should have done the math on that one a little harder. But yeah, where you can find me next is this coming Saturday for Animus Absentis, which Alex is in as well. It's a lovely thing, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And like I said at the beginning, keep an eye on Twitter. First week of April, there'll be calls for the playtests for Afterburner.
Awesome. Next, we've got Econorlax. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything you want to plug or share?
Well, I can't come up with something else because Jake has taken this. Nope. I need to repeat after them, but just pointing out to one specific thing. I literally walked into that and I was just planning my character to have this dignified pirouette on her heel and walking back to the village, and it didn't even cross my mind he will teleport like that. Pat caught me by surprise, and I even wonder why, because that's what he always does. Brilliant.
That was pretty great.
So yeah, I will probably stream this week on US evening times instead mornings because of how I shift. And that's all. You will find me on my own channel, and see you next week.
All right. Then we'll hop on over to Pat. Favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to plug or share?
I mean, my favorite part, not that scene, but not for the same reason. I really enjoyed like having a one-on-one conversation with Allison, because Owen and Allison really haven't interacted that much. And just kind of the difference in those two mindsets and getting to explore that was a lot of fun. You can catch me I'm on Twitter and Twitch as Attactrick. Coming this Sunday, Easter Sunday, is the premiere of an Urban Shadows campaign on my channel. Zan will be there. Other friends that you all know from this channel and others will be there. Yes, and we are playing we're playing Urban Shadows, which is already a Chaos City game, and we're playing in a made-up Florida city, so you get Florida chaos mixed in there.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yes, we will be in the fictional city of Ruby Tooth Bay, which I only after creating did I realize sounded like Ruby Tuesday.
I love that. Oh,
I mean, you
fantastic.
gotta make at least one logo for the game with lobsters. Oh, maybe you could have like a lobster monster.
It's been in thoughts already.
Noted.
I love that. Awesome. All right, and then Zan, same questions.
Yeah, so I'm Zan, a professional content creator and DM for 5e World of Darkness, powered by the Apocalypse and a whole bunch of other great systems out there. I'm also trying to do my own streaming on my channel, which just started last week. So we're hoping for the best for that. Twitch and Twitter are both Insanity TTRPG, and yeah, my favorite part today was. It wasn't a single isolated incident. Like, Owen has been like slowly kind of becoming more and more defined and like in his own purpose lately. And like this week in particular was just like Owen was the main character this week, and it was absolutely fantastic. Like, just pulled it together and saw a lot of different sides of the character that we don't normally see, like right back to back. And it was very, very good to like see the character fleshed out like that. It was really good. So I guess that's that. And you can also find me on Tuesday mornings and Friday mornings at 4 a.m. Central Time over on Polished Cryptid's channel. And because I said I would drop some stuff, I just put into chat a link to a Kickstarter that I am a like contributing author to, a Dungeons and Dragons 5e collection of one-shots based on albums. So my entry is in there, in the core. It's already funded group for Ludo's The Broken Bride LP. And so it's really exciting, really fun. Still a little overwhelming and shit, but yeah, I've been kind of sitting on that for a little while, waiting for the right moment to drop it. But the Kickstarter started yesterday and we're fully funded, so I kind of waited too long anyway. But yeah, come see me again sometime.
Oh, that's really cool. I'm so excited about that. Very awesome. And then last but not least, Alex, favorite part, where can folks find you, and anything you want to plug or share?
I'm Alex, playing Susie, and God, it was such a fucking Owen episode though, and like, I spent a lot of today's game just sitting there eating ketchup chips and eagerly listening to like the emotions and stuff that was putting into how Owen reacted to things, and like the fact that Owen gets brilliant ideas. He just doesn't think all the consequences through, but when he's called out on it, he does change his plans. He's not heartless, but it's more like he's forgetful rather than heartless.
He's careless, I think.
Yes.
Not malicious, but careless.
He's not malicious, he's very careless. But
I was going to say practical.
And like, you could tell he's like a little bit nervous to let people get too close, because, well, he's got to witness people die now that he got close to and been betrayed, and like his trauma is showing through a lot in like little quirks and stuff, and it just... Yeah, big dumb pup energy. Yep. You're almost a himbo.
Oh, goodness.
But, so you can find me around on Saturday with Animus Absentis, and on my Twitter or Twitch at CanChaosArt, where I post artwork and stuff and things I'm working on. Hopefully, starting probably sometime next week, I will also be streaming video gaming over on Econorlax's channel, because we're going to start doing weekly gaming again soon again.
Awesome.
Go and follow Econorlax to check that out, because
somewhere soon we need to pick a schedule.
That's what happens when you are on opposite sides of the world. That's about it for me.
Awesome. So for me, I think my favorite part was going to the volcano, just that whole scene and Lyle getting a nat 20, which was unexpected. And specifically the part where I'm just describing how volcanoes work, and everybody's like, "Yeah, no, it's gonna explode. That means it's on a countdown timer." Like, this is just how volcanoes work. That whole exchange was really fun. I enjoyed it. That and the fact that Lyle was just like, sure, it's dangerous, that's fine. I just need to get away from this guy. He's bringing me down. And the fact that Owen was able to talk Lyle into it, and that they both survived without being seen. But the whole thing was fantastic. I had a lot of fun with it. Where you can find me next will be tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Mountain Time for Exodus, which will be a lot of fun. We're getting into the home stretch there with things, so big things are starting to happen, I think, in the story. And then other things to share are sponsors. So once again, in chat, Fundamental RPG, which is the system that this game was built on, and Intrepid, which is adventuring gear for real life. You can find both of those things at coffee.com/raven/shop. For Fundamental, that's where you can find the PDF. And then if you want the physical copy, you can order that on Amazon. Just look up Fundamental RPG or Raven Evermore, and it should pop right up. And then if you'd like to catch up on this show or episodes of other shows that we've had on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network. Just go to watch.thefantasy.network, and I believe it's /videos will take you directly to the stream library. But if you just go to the homepage, you can find us from there. We're in the stream library under Blackfeather Guild. And I think that's everything. Sorry for all the sniffles. My allergies are going crazy today. But that's why the background noise, so I apologize for that. We've got a raid cry, which is TC, is this poop good for you? And we're gonna go raid Nerdsmith. Definitely give them a follow if you're not doing so already, because there's a great bunch of folks over there. And then I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.